Okay.
All right, I'd like to call the village council work session meeting for August 29th to order. It's 10 a.m. I show we have a quorum of 2 council members, Councilmember Vandenberg, Mayor Pro Tem Dispenzier, and myself, and absent are Councilmember Mary Scoot and Councilmember Robert Epps. So at that, I need the adoption of the agenda. Do we have any changes?
Oh, I'm sure we do.
Yeah, I just wanted
Additions?
to, we don't have quorum for certain types of items, expenditure of public funds, and anything that's binding like an ordinance. So I would like to remove number 6 of the action.
3, 4.
B,
Can you also say the letter that it refers to?
Yes.
Okay.
B, action item agenda, number 6.
And we're just going to table that to,
Hopefully September.
And number 6?
Number 6.
And that is it. That's
Number
the-
3.
Number
number
3 is
4.
fine. Number 3 and 4.
We can release bond money.
According
Oh.
to our attorney.
Okay,
Those are not expenditure of public funds. We're just releasing funds that have been held from us. But if-
Okay.
I want to make a recommendation that you table those anyway.
Oh, okay.
And the reason is that they've been kind of being pushed along for 2 months because, but they were a partial release because they didn't know there was a couple of things. They didn't know the timeline of when they were going to happen, but they just happened in the last week between the time the agenda was printed and today. So next council meeting, there will be a new staff report asking for a full release
Oh, okay.
instead.
Okay.
so table those, table number
3 and
6 as
4.
well,
3 and 4.
3 and 4
6.
on the action items. Anything else?
Number letter D, number 4. That's the new copier proposal. That's spending money.
It's just the recommendation.
We were just going to discuss it. We're not.
Do you want to discuss it and
Yeah, let's just
put it
discuss it and
on
put it on
the
the
consent
consent
agenda?
agenda? Perfect.
This way, if they have
It's
issues
just up for
with,
discussion anyway.
right, we can
Perfect.
discuss it and put it on the agenda to get approved, and then they
Great.
can pull it if they have a problem with that.
Okay.
One thing I want to mention is Councilmember Scoot was pretty heavily involved in this statement of economic interest that's on action, B, action number 10. I'm not sure if y'all want to table that until another work session. We have some input from our attorney.
It was just picking family
Yes.
definition,
Yeah,
correct?
mhm. Pretty much, yes. We'll go through that.
I mean, I think we can
Okay.
discuss it, pick one, put it on the consent. If it's not okay, then
I'm fine with
we
that.
can pull it off.
Anything else?
Nope.
Oh, did you want to remove closed session?
Oh,
No, we'll keep it for now.
Okay.
Get some of them done.
So need a motion to adopt the agenda as amended? So moved. All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up, we have public comment period. Do we have anyone signed up?
We do.
Okay, so just a reminder, state your name, address, and we give you 3 minutes. You want a time?
I got it.
3 minutes or-
Before you start that 3 minutes, he brought a handout.
Oh,
so
okay.
Take one and pass it around.
I didn't tell you how to pass it around.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know.
All right. So first up on the public comment is Tom Coots. How do you come up and just...
Sure. Name is Tom Coots, 1805 Thurl Farms Road, Marvin. I am on the Thurl Farms HOA in regards to the Providence Road widening. The consideration we have before you today is the exhibit that we provided shows Providence Road widening. And at the middle of the page there is the intersection of Wingard Road and Providence Road. On the bottom of the page there is the Thurl Farm subdivision. The top of the page is the Willow Creek subdivision. We are requesting council to make the change of the proposed 12-foot path that's currently designed on the east side, on the Thurl Farm side of the road, to move that and replace that to the west side and move the 5-foot sidewalk that's proposed on the west side and put that on the Thurl Farm side, so that we can accomplish reducing the encroachment on the Thurl Farm subdivision. I've numbered 7 lots that will be affected by this change. On the Thurl Farm subdivision, across the street on the west side is 2 houses that will be affected on the Willow Creek side or the west side of Providence Road. The landscape buffer you can see along that dashed line, that's the sidewalk. That's our existing large earthen mound and large mature trees. That will be pretty much wiped out with the current design of the Providence Road widening, making no buffer between the rear of these houses and the new Providence Road widening. The reason we're before council is NCDOT requires us to get council vote an approval for this change because the village has requested this from NCDOT. So they will not take any requests from us. They will only take it from the village. So we are asking for council to consider making this change, really just basically swapping out the 2 sidewalks, putting the smaller one on the west side, or excuse me, the larger one on the west side, and the 5-foot smaller walk on the east side of Providence Road up against Thurl Farms. It will help to minimize the impact to our existing earthen and vegetative buffer today.
Did DOT specify if they needed a resolution of support or anything, or
They
recommendation?
didn't specify that. Now, Rohit may have spoken with them, but they have just said that they need this request to come from the village of Marvin. So they would need some request back to them, like the initial request asking for the 2 different walks previously.
Probably need a
Go
resolution.
ahead. Did you happen to?
Yeah, I had
That's all right.
communicated. Well, that's fine because I guess it's not now my
we'll
turn.
just talk.
I've communicated with Travis Pressler from NCDOT, and he basically said, well, council needs to recommend this change.
Did he say via resolution?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
So,
Do we know when we picked 12 versus 5? I thought it was the same size on each side of the road. I don't ever remember.
I think we were
Picking
trying to
sizes.
incorporate, I think they were basically telling us which side.
Yeah, me
was
too. That's
going
what I'm
to-
saying. I don't
to
think
be-
we
it
ever-
was their decision.
Exactly.
So I think we need, if we're gonna look at this, we need to add it to the regular work session for all of council.
I agree.
And we can get some details and
Because
get time
I don't
to-
remember specifying to them
Oh.
sizes and which side of the road. So them saying that, I don't know is,
Well, no, I think that I know what they're doing. They're saying, hey, this has to become a formal body rather than just a request.
no,
for
I
voters.
understand that, but when they're telling the residents that we picked the sizes and which side of the road, that I don't
No,
think
that's
is.
not what he said.
Okay.
All he's saying is that a change needs to come from.
Okay, because we did not pick sizes of sidewalks
Yeah, I
nor
think it
side
came
of the
down
road.
to cost, what it was gonna cost, and did we not hear yesterday that it's now moved to 2027 before it's
That's true.
gonna be completed, or 25?
27.
Okay,
Anyway, so
All right,
it's,
well,
it's,
let's-
and it's $30 million already over budget.
perfect. Let's
So-
get some more.
Just,
get
that
some
was latest news as of yesterday.
We will
So-
definitely do research and look into that. So
And then,
thank you very much.
let's get that on the
Okay.
agenda for council to discuss, and
Okay.
then you
Are
can
you
look
wanting
into
the
what.
work session or the
Yeah,
regular meeting?
Regular
Regular
meeting,
meeting.
yeah, we'll get it on the regular
September
meeting.
10th.
One point I forgot to mention was on that west side of the road, as you can see from CVS down to the donation center to the south, it's more undeveloped raw land on the
Yeah.
west side of Providence Road as well, so it makes more sense from that standpoint.
So, as I'm looking at this and I'm turned around, this is the west side.
This is the west side.
This is the west side.
And this is the east. This is Thurl
Oh,
Farm, this is
Thurl, okay,
Willow Creek.
okay.
CVS sits right here, Publix is
Right,
right here.
right.
So we've
okay.
got more undeveloped land the
Yeah,
Goodwill Donation Center.
And I think they were trying to tie into, they were looking at communities tying into paths and stuff, and we were talking about, we didn't want to jump from one side to the, or they didn't want that either. And then this would connect, to your point, if you read down on this side, it would connect to the potential, what's that power line that we talked about, cutting through with the connection, if someone wanted to ride their bike, get off the main street and ride their bike into there, which would make more sense, so.
Really, the only subdivision, to your point, is the Epcon Courtyards of Marvin is the next residential subdivision on that side down there by the power line.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Good deal, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for me?
Yep, we're
All
good.
right, we don't, if we do, we'll have our head contact you. and,
Do I need to be back at the next council meeting, or?
You can.
Well, it's gonna be put on the agenda. It may be an opportunity if you or some of your residents want to speak on
Sure.
behalf of that to refresh the council that missed this, and then just make sure it's on the agenda.
Okay,
So we
what's-
talked about.
When is that?
September 10th.
September 10th?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's at
6:30
6:30 on Tuesday night,
Here.
right? Here.
Okay. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much. Have a good day.
Appreciate
it.
Good day. All right. So next up on the agenda is action items. B1, call for public hearing to be held September 10th, 6:30 PM in the Village Hall, 10,004 Newtown Road, to consider temporary use permit number 19-12300 for construction, storage, and office trailers at Marvin Gardens, 1615 Providence Road South.
So moved.
You're presenting though, right?
We're just
It's just calling for the public
Yeah, we're
hearing.
not
Okay.
presenting anything.
Oh yeah, at the next meeting I'll be presenting that.
Okay. So moved. All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay.
I'm gonna do that all day.
Next up, we consider appointment of
Yeah, we
budget
got
officer and
anybody-
deputy finance officer.
What's wrong?
We'll just go for public hearing.
Okay. Consider appointment of budget officer and deputy finance officer Christina Amos. And is that how you pronounce?
Amos.
Amos, okay.
It's not
I'll make
Amos.
sure I got it. I just want to make sure I got that.
Amos cookies.
Yeah.
Amos, yeah. You make cookies. As a budget officer, and Julie Rothrock, deputy
Right.
finance officer.
So moved.
And both as signatories on the bank.
Oh.
Okay, so those two have signatures, so I won't have to come in anymore after
You
that
still have to come in.
to sign? Okay. I'm okay with that.
We're
I'm
trying to
just-
get our internal control process in place, so.
Right, I thought it was only two
I think
signatures.
you're
though.
still,
Yeah, because Julie called me last week, and I'm saying, I was getting something done, so I couldn't come, and I said, I thought I was taking off that.
I think you're still on there as well.
Okay.
Do we want to remove Nick, or?
We can, yeah, we can remove them.
I was pretty sure as well. She called.
Yeah, and I didn't look into it, but if y'all want to officially do it now, I can make sure that it gets taken care of.
Sure. If Nick doesn't want to do anymore, take him
I mean,
on.
it's only got.
Yeah,
that's three.
we're fine with that.
You got
So is that,
you
it's
got three
two
people
separate
you're
things,
fine.
we got a motion to do that, and then we'll do that
Yep.
next. So motion, so moved, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes for the new budget officer, deputy
Do
finance
we
officer.
get to swear you in
She'll do it, she'll do it,
later?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
You don't want to do it
and
now?
then-
We didn't prepare, well, did we prepare?
Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't, so we don't have to do it now if you don't want to
Let's
do
get
it.
Oh,
it
if we
done.
can,
If you want.
We
if
have
we can do
witnesses.
it later, we don't have to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be done in
Okay.
the
That's
meeting,
fine.
just as
Okay.
long
Or
as.
witnesses, okay, so then to add on to that's not on the agenda, but Nick is asking to be removed. Make a motion.
Make a motion to remove Mayor Pro Tem as a signatory on checks,
accounts.
all bank accounts.
Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Do you want to be added on?
And we need to add, I'd like to make a motion to add Christina and Julie as signatories on all bank accounts.
Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Who's,
So,
can
we
I
got-
can I ask a question?
Who's on it?
No?
Who can sign? Yeah.
No, can I ask a
Is it
question?
regarding this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's preparing the statements now? Is it you or Julie?
The financial statements,
Uh-huh.
it's me.
Do you want me to come in and check them and
Yes.
initial them?
Yeah, and we haven't gone through the entire process
That's
yet,
fine.
so we'll get there.
Because I need to do July's. I don't think I've done July's. Okay.
So you started, I used to do that. You started doing that.
I started doing
So
it.
we didn't have to appoint.
No, because
anyone
it's
do
not
it.
like an official thing, they
It's
just want
just
another set of eyes on it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, sorry.
All right, so moving forward, number 3, action items, consider bond
Nope.
release for,
We skipped it.
oh, sorry,
And 4.
5.
my bad. Number 5, adopt council meeting minutes for February 8th, 2019 annual retreat, March 12th,
Yes.
2019 budget work session and regular meeting, March 18th, 2019 special meeting, and March 28th, 2019, work session. Need a
So
motion to approve? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up is approve 2018, 2019 tax.
No.
Can't do that.
No.
Okay, I didn't mark it. I marked it on the other side, my bad. Next up is accept treasury report for June and July 2019.
Do we need to, just look at it? We're good?
It's just
Unless you have any questions.
I have no questions.
I didn't have any questions, no, did you?
No.
Further discussion to accept that? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up is accept deputy sheriff's report for July 2019. Need a motion to accept?
So moved.
Further discussion?
So who did the treasury report? Was that you, Mayor?
Yeah. We so moved them.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were putting the motion.
Barbie, you can't type this fast.
No, I'm sorry. This is
Sorry,
That's
Barbie.
okay. We're just trying to get out of here before 3 o'clock this afternoon.
5 o'clock.
Well, we can. I'm not too slow.
I'm kidding.
But you're really not.
All right, so need a motion to accept deputy sheriff's report for July 2019.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, adopt proclamation 2019-08-01 for Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
So moved.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I will not be able to attend the invitation that we received on that, just so everybody knows.
What's that?
There was an invitation of a domestic violence awareness.
When is it?
It's the October 3rd. It's on the back of the proclamation.
Okay,
Yeah.
October 3rd.
October 3rd from 8:30 to 9:30 at the Union County Courthouse Square.
Okay. Yes. At what time?
8:30 to 9:30. It was an invitation, I'm sure, I don't know who, Turning Point did it.
All right. Next up on the action item is discussion consideration of statement of economic interest changes.
I looked at this and I liked family immediate better than family extended.
Okay, so is that what y'all, do you want to go through all of these and?
I think that was the only, you took out, I read the stuff from Chaplain, so I really think the only decision that needed to be made was extended and immediate, and we took out, employee and stuff like that.
So, okay, so
Right?
we did, there's a couple sections in here where it actually highlighted like immediate or extended, so I just needed to clarify that. And then also Chaplain wanted to add some language in, if you turn the page, not labeled, I'm sorry, but it's the, under the financial interest, section G,
Yep.
at the very bottom, number 3, he wanted to add some language in there about excluding personal mortgages from the form.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have to disclose any personal mortgage information.
Okay, I was fine with what he wanted to add per his emails,
And let me just go through and make sure I'm
right? 'Cause the emails are in the,
you see all the sections where it says your family, I'll just replace that with the immediate.
I liked immediate better than I liked extended, because I think that gets a little,
Well,
Extended.
what is the definition of extended family?
extended is parent, child, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, grandparent, grandchild, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, step-parent, stepchild, stepbrother, stepsister, half-brother, half-sister, wherein the relative is related to the subject or their spouse by blood, marriage, or adoption.
So just for the record, when you're on a corporate board, it does, they talk about extended family, about knowing information for trading and stuff
Right.
like that. Extended family would go to like father, my wife or my father and stuff like that, so.
But
and I know-
immediate family, which is the one that I think is a little more reasonable, is any member of the applicant's family residing in the applicant's principal dwelling, included any unemancipated child of the covered person residing in the applicant's household and the applicant's spouse if not legally separated.
I am absolutely fine with what you're suggesting, what you're recommending. I just want to be on the record that it may have to be revisited for some reason. Somebody's in-law came in and purchased property and,
But I mean, that's gonna be a conflict anyway that you gotta, I would
Should
think
be.
you would have to disclose it anyway, so. But I mean, I'm good with doing extended, I just think extended gets a little,
So which one do y'all wanna go with?
I'm good with immediate.
I like the immediate better. That was,
And we can have both, but we just need to reference throughout the document which one you're asking about.
I think it's better to have it uniform across the board.
Because is the consensus to use the immediate? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm good with immediate. I think that's sufficient.
Throughout the document.
Mhm.
Get rid of the extended, we'll
Mhm.
reference immediate throughout the entire document. And then I'll add the language in there about the personal mortgage. I will remove all of the references of employee and long-term contractors per the memo where we will address those things for employees, we'll address it in the personnel policy. If you want to add some stipulations about long-term contractors, then we need to look at our procurement policy and amend that.
I mean, I like the fact that we can do it in RFP, right?
We can.
So, I don't think we need to have it here.
And I just want to go through and make sure I didn't forget anything real quick. I think that's it.
So I'll need a motion to make those changes and then add it to the consent agenda for the September 10th meeting.
So moved.
Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have discussion consideration of rules of procedure changes.
So we can approve those since we've got discussion and consideration?
You
Yeah.
can.
All right. Was there anything,
I don't think anything had changed.
Changed?
It's been a really long time since I've looked at this, to be honest with you.
no,
but,
it was last meeting. We went over it last
We
meeting,
actually could approve the one before, so
right? Didn't
it
we?
says discussion consideration.
The only
Right.
differences that I added from the last time that we looked at this in depth was, I think Councilmember Scoot had a recommendation to bullet the motions, the
And
Okay. Point of
number them.
information, point of,
I'm good with that. I'm good with the changes.
So, would this be the time that I would talk about suggesting another rules of procedure changes right now?
I would assume, yes.
Okay, so, and if we want to discuss it as a full council, that's fine too, we can put it on the agenda, but I would like to address the lack of some sort of change in the rules of payment to council members who do not show up for meetings or missing meetings. I'd like to add that into discussion because just like any board member, they get paid if they show up at the meeting, and we're seeing continuing absences from council members that we're paying to be representatives of the community, and if they're not showing up. So I'd like to, if you guys want to discuss it, fine. If not, at least put it on the agenda to discuss.
Can we have that discussion? Can we have the attorney look into that and see if that's something we can do?
I can ask him to do that.
Why don't we do that and then he can,
I just want to get it,
let's do that.
this is the work session to get it on the main thing, and we can have him research that.
Yeah.
What actions we can take for, because I'm looking at is, you're required to at least be at 2 meetings, the regular meeting and the work session meetings, and it's, special meetings, they happen when they happen, and we've given everybody opportunities to show up by phone, all different things, and even, notifying the community far enough in advance that we will have a meeting or quorum, those sort of type of things. I'd like to get, because I don't think it's happening, and correct me if I'm wrong, Barbie, but I don't think everybody's responding either via text or some sort of
No, I'm getting
hard
no
copy.
response. No response, but from a couple of folks.
Okay. So that has to be a requirement, because I want to know 24 hours in advance. Now, if you get sick last minute, I get that and stuff, but 24 hours in advance, I mean, there's a lot of preparation. People come here and stuff like that. That's just going, people are just,
Well, and staff preps
yeah. So,
and council preps, and there's a lot that goes into.
so my point being, there's a couple of items to discuss, that being responding to your quorum check, and then also revisiting compensation for council that failed to show up, so.
So, just a point of clarification real fast, we do not currently have a requirement or a rule that says you have to respond to quorum checks. I think that's in here as a proposed rule, but it hasn't been approved yet, so it's not.
Can we approve that now?
Yeah, we're gonna approve all these rules right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying, let's approve that then.
Yeah.
that
Well,
quorum
no,
checks
all
should
of
be-
them, all of the new changes.
Rule number 37, if you note, it's on
Yeah,
page
I see it.
16.
We still haven't approved that?
We have not approved that part.
Okay.
So there's no violation of any procedures at this point in time. Now, as these approved, then you can address that as they come up. But the second thing is the consensus of the board today to ask me to move forward with Chaplain to look at compensation feasibilities for council members. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's, yeah, I mean, to bring it up for discussion to see what action.
Yeah,
can
fine.
be
I mean,
taken,
if we can
so.
do anything, I'd ask him first, because if legally we can't,
Okay.
then there's no discussion.
And you're good with that, Nick?
Yeah, I'm good. I would think we can, because originally, we weren't compensated at all. We gave ourselves compensation, so we could take it away. It's not like it's some, you know,
Okay.
I mean, when I first came on, there was no
All right.
compensation.
Well, and I mean, it may depend on when council changes over, or with physical budgets, or,
Okay.
so there may be some
Yeah,
constraints
but let them look into
what
it.
you, but yeah, I would
think
have
we
him look
probably-
into it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're right to do that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion to adopt the most recent changes of our rules of procedure as presented.
Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
And Kim, could you, just for
Oh,
clarification purposes, could you just go ahead and make a motion to advise me to
Oh.
go forward with Chaplain?
yeah. I'd like to make a motion to direct our administrator to talk to our legal counsel to look into any compensation changes or compensation
Action,
compensation
actions that can be taken.
action that can be
Address.
taken for excessive absences to council meetings by council.
Okay.
I don't know if you want,
Sorry,
I don't know if you want to write it that way.
Huh?
I usually said excessive absences.
Yeah, just,
I mean,
If
it
somebody
was-
misses one meeting, that means.
Are we gonna dock
Did you
them?
want, are you wanting to do compensation too? Was that compensation?
Well, any action. So whatever he thinks we can do.
whatever he comes back with from a legal standpoint,
And-
is
and
what can be done.
Including compensation.
Actions.
So no
But I
excessive.
don't wanna,
I would
Yeah.
think
So,
it would
okay,
be
take excessive
any
absence.
absence, yeah.
any absence.
Any absences, okay.
Any absence?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, short of, I guess sickness. or-
Because I think we can go into
And
discussion
compensation.
if
Right,
last
yes.
minute something happened, we
Right.
forgive that and
Okay.
stuff. I'm sure that they can write that in somewhere.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so we have did we get consensus on the first
Yep.
motion you made?
Yep.
Okay, that was a 2-0. Do you got that, Barbie?
I got two.
Okay. Okay, so then now, to your second motion about
Yep.
directing Christina, further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have Village Hall.
Goody.
I was hoping everybody would be here for this one.
We can't do anything because it's money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanted to tell you real fast what we're going, I mean, we don't have to approve anything, but basically you all had advised me to look at a couple of different things.
What'd you find out?
If we separate the sanitary sewer project as a separate phase, we will possibly be okay with.
Is that this piece?
Yes, that would be
Here?
it, yeah.
Okay. So if we separate, okay, keep going, sorry.
So if we basically go ahead and say, we're gonna do that first as phase one, we'd have to RFP that and do it as a separate project. Then we would come back later, after that's done, and do the actual Village Hall project. So it's gonna take a little more time to do it that way, but in the long run, it's probably gonna be a lot cheaper because of the BMPs will not be necessary, hopefully, at that point.
Okay, so the sewer project, or the sewer portion of this, how long does that have to be completed before you RFP?
We could do them pretty much simultaneously. We could go ahead and RFP the sanitary sewer, go ahead and award that contract, and then go ahead and start an RFP for the village hall. I mean, we can do them right back to back.
Knowing that it would be completed before we started so that we wouldn't need the BMPs. Okay.
Are we spending, I mean, are we sure now that this is where the village hall is gonna be? We know. Because I know we talked about land lease or.
I have an update
Are
for
we
you
gonna
on
start,
that.
before we start spending money on this?
Well, we can't spend any money on it right now
Well,
anyway.
I mean, not this meeting, but I'm saying, but even,
Well,
is that expenditure only good if this gets built? If that doesn't get built, we spend money on that
for no
for
reason.
no
but,
reason. I'm just.
Give you a quick update. Rohit and I were driving to Monroe yesterday for a meeting, and I phoned the pastor just to see where they were at on that discussion of leasing, the long-term leasing and stuff. I'll read for you exactly what he said, so to be, because it was shared through a text, and I don't want to be, what he said is, he listened to my voicemail, didn't have time to talk, admit there seemed to be a fair amount of resistance to the idea. He's speaking of the elders meeting when they presented the long-term lease. He said, I'm not saying the idea was completely rejected, but it would take a visit from you with a bit more full presentation, I believe. He said, Robbie may have a different, Robbie being the other person we met with, one of the elders, may have a different point of view, but if so, I'll let him voice his. He says in the text, Joe, our session is very cautious and conservative. They ask questions that Scott and I could not answer. I think the next step is that we have a roundtable discussion so the session can hear your ideas. I thanked them for getting back to me and understood their resistance, obviously, initially. So I think it's, again, ideas are free. This is an idea that we talked about that could be a win-win situation for both and not going into anywhere near the cost that we're talking to this, and this can be saved for never building on, but creating something else that, whether it's farmer's market and things that we had, some ideas that have talked about. So they were just throwing it back out there. I told them I may have an opportunity to just talk to council about this to see if there's any discussion. Now, we are only a couple months from an election that, certain individuals aren't going to be running again, and we're going to see a whole new council most likely in December. So whether we hand that off to them or just, again, I'm just talking at high levels. Kim and I met with them. It was a very good meeting, and they just have questions and wanted to set up. So I thought at that point, I think we have questions too as council. Where's the win for us? Where's the win for them? And is there something that we could create where it's not, to your point, Nick, spending any money here yet until we've exhausted that opportunity, if there is one there and stuff. And I'm not saying
I would just like to note that all, that the other options are no longer on the table, and this is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That this is now where it's going to be, and that's it.
Right. Well, it sounds like this one could still be, they just want more of a roundtable with maybe some more participants from the elders, and if we set up that meeting and presentation, that's where I'm like, I'm out of my element, and as far as, do I know much about long-term leasing? No. So it's something that, if they understand that, hey, how long-term leases work, and that we own the building, they own the land, they pay taxes on the land, we pay taxes and maintain the property, they get a rent check, all those things that get them comfortable with, moving forward with it. It's done a lot, I know, just because of values of land and how expensive it is to build in certain parcels.
I kind of think the timing and the amount of time it's going to take, and like you said, there'll be an election, there'll be a new council, there may be new negotiations because the new council may have
I
different
mean,
ideas.
that's kind
So, I mean,
of, that's my thought is, I'm not
Yeah.
sure that I want to put that on.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm not even sure.
A new council, I don't know that we want to get into a presentation that, you know, is a couple months into the presentations and then new
Yeah.
council comes in and they're like, we ain't doing that, or, you know, we're gonna do something totally different.
I wouldn't look at it as a presentation, I would look at it more of a discussion roundtable.
Well, they
and
want,
just
a
say-
they want a presentation per
Well,
that,
I mean,
which I'm not prepared to.
So are you saying you'd rather go ahead and make the decision before the new board comes on, or,
No,
okay?
personally, I wouldn't.
So
I wouldn't feel right doing it to a new council, giving them a decision.
I wouldn't either.
oh, I
Of course, they can change
agree.
it anyway, I mean.
I agree wholeheartedly. You don't want to come in saying, oh, by the way, here's what you got, and you got to do a long-term lease. I would say is, if there's anything to parallel, my concern with yours, Nick, is we're spending potentially money on here when this may be a better
Right,
option
that's
and a lot less money and within budget versus doing what we're suggesting here, you signing an RFP and we're doing work on here that, you know.
Well, that's my concern, that we even get involved with doing that.
So then do we just wait?
Is there a way that you think you could have this meeting by September 26th, which is our next work session, and then,
I absolutely do,
But
but
it's
I
gonna,
think,
like, they want like,
yeah, I think they want to see, and maybe we call a special meeting, that council members show up and all we're doing is just talking about, okay, here's where our ideas come from and stuff, and it's just like, and I'll make clear to them, this is not going to be a presentation, this is going to be a discussion of ideas, and, you know, and maybe we bring someone in from the outside, a neutral person
Yeah.
who has done long-term leases, and they
so
can
no, I
explain
don't
to
think it
us.
can be done by the 26th.
okay?
You don't think we can have a special meeting?
Not if
by
you're gonna
then?
bring somebody in and try to coordinate schedules, and where are the elders? Are they in,
I have no
are they
idea.
here? Are they, I mean,
That's
Text
an
message.
email that that's a text I will send.
I
to-
just, I mean,
Let me do this. Let me just suggest to them, said we're open to having a meeting where we would have quorum, and so we have more council members invited and staff members, and if you want to, well, maybe the attorney makes sense and
Yes.
stuff like that, but the again, it's just ideas. It's not something that we're binding. It's just. Is it appealing to them? Do they look into it? And then they're going to want their own attorney for if something like this were to happen for long-term
this
leases,
is,
and we would
if
too.
If this happens, this is not gonna happen for months, and it's really not gonna be
Yeah,
this
I mean,
council's decision.
You know, I
agree.
I hate to say it, and I've been on council for 10 years, and we've been talking about a town hall and looking at things for 10 years. But I think at this point, I'm almost to the point of saying, I would shelve it for now until the new council comes in.
Shelve all of them.
Because even us have meetings, we have a new council's gonna come in, we could have meetings and say, we like
Yeah.
this, but then the new council comes in and says, we don't like this. I mean, it's almost,
I don't disagree with that.
I'm not even sure.
And they may feel more comfortable about that too, to say, okay, wait for the new council to come in, so we know we have 2 more years to kind of, if this are something gonna go, they can decide this or potentially that, and then they have the meeting and say, look.
I mean, like I said, we're to the point of the timing wise where it's now,
Right.
you know, so close that it doesn't make much sense.
Does that affect any of the contract stuff that we have in
No,
effect?
I mean, the only thing that it really affects.
Permits?
There may be some permits that are affected. I know the driveway permit would have to be redone.
We've only extended that, like,
We've
a
extended it
bunch.
like 2 or 3 times, so they're probably not going to
I
extend
mean-
again, but
I
I think it's gonna change anyways.
Again, I'm on record saying this, as much as people accuse me of wanting to build, and it's falsely accusing me of all this stuff, I'm actually suggesting not building any more buildings, but taking this building and creating something really special here, long-term lease, and doing something here that is connectivity for all of Marvin to enjoy, from farmer's market to acoustical weekends and food trucks and stuff that never gets built other than places for people to park and sit and ride their bikes to. And, that's my vision as I'm parting ways with,
And just keep in mind too that all of those things, farmer's market, amphitheater, whatever it is that you may have there, is still gonna require sewer. So you would still need to have that sanitary sewer project done, so
even
that's,
if we have a farmer's market that has no bathroom or running water, or,
I mean, if you don't have running water, I would think that you would want bathrooms at least.
Really?
There's no bathrooms in Waxhaw Farmers Market.
Oh, really?
No.
mean-
They just put it, it's outdoor and most of them are outdoor. You would have to go to a commercial place, retail spot and maybe use their restrooms. But if you go into Matthews and you go in and it's just an outdoor venue where they have tables, tents.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the one down on Providence Road, it's just a stand. If you think about the one up at Ray and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Near the church,
so the only
there's a
concern
shed.
would be grading where people park and, if you were to provide an area initially for that, is it level, is it,
I mean, if
can
you're- if
people
you're-
get access?
if you're saying that if we put anything there, regardless of if we have running water or if we just grade and put up a
Pavilion.
a pavilion, we have to do the sewer project?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have bathrooms, and I would assume that if you have a pavilion where there's gonna be events and that sort of thing, you would have a bathroom. But if you're just doing just a farmer's market where literally people just set up shop and come in, I would assume that you would want bathrooms for at least the vendors to attend, but maybe we don't.
I mean, but if what you're saying is if you don't have a bathroom and you still have to do this because of grading and whatever,
You only need to tap into you only need to do the sanitary sewer if you're gonna have bathrooms and
Okay.
water.
And I would say that, and this is kind of maybe far-fetched, but if you've ever been to those events at people's homes, that they have big sprawling
Yeah.
properties and stuff, but they don't want people, they have a charity event, but they don't want people using the restroom. They pull up
porta potties.
porta potties that are elegant. I mean, inside piped-in music. It's sorry about that. It's very it's nicely done. It's done for weddings, charity events, and stuff like that. But where instead of spending all this money, and if we were going to do that, and they were going to have concerts in there, eventually you're going to want, I think, bathroom facilities and some sort of thing in there. But right now,
I don't want to sound like kicking the can down the road, but I just think any of that stuff, we're not going to make a decision on whether it's going to be an empathy or anything. I think that's all going to be,
yeah.
the new council is going to have
We'll be sitting on that side of the
Yeah, I
fence,
mean,
cheering them
yeah.
on, go, you do it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but I think that's, at this point, it's almost like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm just trying to kick it down the
Okay,
road.
I'm gonna
I
be
think we
here,
need
so,
that.
but
Well, you're gonna be here.
I agree with you. I'm not prepared to tell,
Yeah.
3 other people.
So take away from this, because I'd like for the rest of the board to hear it, would y'all like me to add this to the next work session so they could at least hear the same message?
You can put it on the work session, sure.
And if it's okay with council, I'm gonna at least reach out to them and say where we're at.
I think you can, but I think that they want to come in, I think they want us to come in with like terms and like a presentation and like how it's all gonna work.
I don't.
I'm certainly not prepared to do that.
I don't.
And-
I think they want a presentation. They have questions, and then the questions,
Yeah, but we're not gonna have half those answers.
and that's okay.
Okay.
But you're all you're doing is talking about ideas
I
and
mean,
say,
I
well,
think it's
let's look into
fine.
that, and if this makes sense, then yes, they would
I mean,
go.
I think that's fine. If you wanna do that, I think that's
But
fine.
it's that, again, does that become a duplication of things? Because if you do that now with me, you, Robert, Mary, and now 3 months from now, you're gonna have to do it again with a new mayor, new.
Yeah, I'll let them know.
Are they gonna wanna do it twice? Are they gonna?
It's a timing
twice?
thing, and there's gonna be a new council coming in,
I think
and
that's
if
good.
anything's gonna be discussed, I think it's an opportunity for them, because they may have legitimate questions that,
Yeah, but I mean, the answers they're gonna get from us may not be the answers that they're gonna get
agree
3 months from
100%.
now.
But I-
100%.
I mean, I'd like to kinda nail them down if it's like something that's actually legit or if we're just
Well, yeah, I
wasting
mean,
time. So, I mean, you can just kinda pose it like that too.
I mean, I just don't wanna waste their time that they
Well, I don't
come in
wanna-
now and
I don't wanna
talk
waste-
to us, and then they have to come in 3 months from now and talk to another group.
No, I agree, but I don't wanna waste our time either, that if that's absolutely not gonna happen, then I'd like to know that so that we can tick that off. the
Here's
list.
where I'm at with it, because I'm not looking at the presentation stage. I would like to say to the next incoming council, we've met with the elders at the church. We've discussed ideas about, potential things. It's an opportunity. They may, after that, just discuss and say, look, we're not interested. We're gonna go back to this. Or they say, you know what, this could work if the legal terms are worked out and a council is open to it. And then at that point, the new council knows that that's an option, or they just cut ties and they move forward with this, and we're back to that. So all I'm doing is just like, I agree with you to the extent, but if we've already had discussions and we get to a point where they're open to it if the terms were right, because it may be that, you know, hell no, we're not interested, and then we at least, this next council knows that that's off the table and this needs to be what the focus is. But if they come in and they have two options in front of them and there's been discussion before, they can take it from there. And
Well, I agree, and I don't want to keep getting into it, but again, the options we give them may not be the options that a new council gives them, so.
And again, it's, we're not, you're talking as options as far as legal terms. No legal discussions are happening. It's just ideas. And if they have questions, as well, maybe that can be worked into the terms. Maybe it'd be something as simple that is the deal breaker is, oh, we would never do a 99-year lease, which is a very common thing. And then if that's that, and then council may or may not, you know, like that idea. So anyways,
I'm fine with, you know, you talking to them and stuff. My only thing is, I think, as far as everything else in this, I'm almost to the point of saying, just put it on hold until we get what's going on here.
And with Christina not being here, just to be clear, for the record, you're saying that if we don't have to do sewer and all that now, then should we be spending money on that?
Yeah, we should wait.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
I mean, if we have to do it, if we do anything on that piece of property, regardless of bathrooms, then yeah, go ahead and do it, but if that's not the case,
Yeah.
then let's
Well,
just
again,
wait.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if you were gonna,
It's 3 months. I
if you were
mean,
gonna do an amphitheater, you probably need bathrooms.
Yes,
People.
absolutely.
But again, are we gonna make the decision to do an amphitheater, or is the new council gonna make the
Right.
decision?
Yeah, no, I agree. I
You know,
agree.
so
I
again,
agree.
it's kind of.
I mean, I would
Okay.
wait.
Okay, all right. So basically, we've agreed that, to Kim's point, if it doesn't have to be done because we are not, you know, with what we're currently talking about, and we're not gonna pursue anything right now on that
Okay.
stuff. And then I'll just reach out to them on my own and explain to them where we're at from a timing standpoint.
And if
But
they want to sit down and meet, then that's fine, and
Yeah.
if they want to wait, then that's fine too.
Yeah. And they may be with you, Nick, and say, yeah, let's wait and see if it's, I'm just saying if it's an option is, you know, coming in and stuff, so. Because all that does is take up more time. But, all right, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, moving on to D, items of discussion of meeting minutes 4/10/19, regular meeting.
I have one change.
Okay, come on.
Okay, what do you have?
On page 2, I'm just telling you that right now.
Okay, you pull those up?
I did.
Okay.
Right here.
All right, go ahead. You want to make your change?
Yeah, it's halfway down under discussion, it's page 2.
Mm-hmm.
Halfway down under discussion where it says Mayor Polino noted for the record that he misspoke regarding not have a full council. That's probably supposed to be having. Right there, right? Regarding not having.
And interesting, Kim, without talking to you, if you go on a little bit further, he corrected his statement saying there was a full quorum. There was not a quorum, full quorum, there is a quorum.
Not having.
I'm doing something first before I start.
So if you see just beyond that, Kim, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I corrected my statement.
No, but mine's just have versus having.
Right, okay, but I'm actually saying, but he corrected, it says
I
he
know,
corrected
I know,
his
you
statement
corrected
saying there
himself.
was a full quorum. I didn't say there was a full quorum, I said it should be stated that there was a quorum of council in attendance in the March 28th, because people were missing. A full quorum is nobody's missing. And I think it got.
I don't know what you're trying to say right there.
What's that?
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
So what do you want that to say then?
That there was a quorum of council, not a full quorum. A full quorum means everybody was there. Everybody was not there. So when
So you want her to take out quorum after full?
Just tell me
want
what
her
you
to
want me to
remove
say.
full.
Is there such a thing? Is there such a thing as a full quorum?
Yeah,
Yeah.
full quorum would be
Means
everybody
everybody's
is
here.
there. That's
Otherwise,
why
it is a quorum.
Yeah,
But that's why I hear on the recorder, so if that's not what you meant, then I can take it out. But that's what I hear on the recorder.
and that's why I'm saying I missed.
You misspoke.
There was a
Okay.
full quorum in sense.
Okay.
We wanted
No
Councilman to
problem.
have every opportunity to speak. So I wanted everyone to have, but because she was saying that I think Mary Scoot was saying that there was a.
I just wanted to correct the word have.
I understand that, but
that's
it makes the difference because she was saying that there was a quorum, and I go, and I think I said something that there wasn't a full quorum, and she goes, no, there was a quorum. I go, but there wasn't a full quorum where everybody was here to discuss the roads. So that's where I misspoke and said, I said there wasn't a full quorum. She goes, and she was getting specific, saying, no, there was a quorum that existed. My whole point was there was not a full quorum, if that says. I'm
That's okay.
correcting
We
the
take
record. I'm
full
saying
There
I'm correcting
was
the
a
record, saying
quorum.
yes, there was a quorum of council,
Okay.
but there was not a full quorum of council.
Okay, is there anything else on this?
Yes. On page 5,
Okay.
and first consent items, action 1, Councilman Epps made a motion requesting that he recuse himself from voting on a personal item listed on the consent agenda. Motion passed 4-0. It could not pass 4-0 because he would not be able to vote.
Oh, that's true. 3-0.
And down below.
Action 1?
Yep, full 0 could not be, it had to be a 3-0 vote because he would not be able to vote to recuse himself. And that also comes to Councilman Vandenberg made a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended. Motion passed with the 4-0 vote. So that I think that has to be 3-0 too, to approve the consent agenda because Robert cannot vote on that.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
That's all I had for that one.
I'm done with that one too.
That's it?
That's it.
Nick, do you have anything? I was making notes. Is there anything there? All right, so do we want to go through everyone and then just approve all of them for, let's go through on to the next
Yeah, that's-
Yeah, that's what we
4:15?
did the last time.
Okay, so
And
we're on to
this is our-
4:15?
This is our process.
Okay, 4:15.
And then we'll make a motion at the end to add them all
Yeah,
to the
we're gonna approve
consent.
these, so we're not bringing them back up again.
Well,
No.
we're approving them to put on the
Consent.
consent
Yeah,
agenda.
yeah.
So you have one last chance to pull something and make a correction if you will. Or they do, right?
Well, somebody can.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I had one change. First page.
1 second, 1 second.
Oh,
Let me
sorry.
turn the tracks on.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, it's right, okay, go under, second paragraph under April 15th discussion that starts Councilman Epps.
Right here?
Yep.
What page?
First page, second sentence towards the end, Epps, right there, there's another
Here?
P. Yep,
Oh,
that's it.
thank you.
What's that?
I had only 1 P in his name.
Okay.
Sorry.
Why can I not find that page? That's May 15th?
That's May, it should be right.
It's April 15th.
It's
April.
April 15th, not May.
That's why
April.
okay. I have put those papers aside. April 15th. And that was on,
That was the
First
recess
page.
meeting.
Very first page, under April 15th discussion, second paragraph.
discussion, second paragraph. Okay. I have
Second
it.
sentence where it says Councilman Epps
Okay.
only has 1 P.
There it is.
Okay. All right, anything else on that?
Okay.
Nick,
Yeah. All right, let me say it.
moving on to April 30th.
Nope, no, we're not.
I'm sorry.
Not just yet. Let me save before
Okay,
I don't lose your changes. And then we're going to April 30th.
30th.
I had no changes to April 30th.
Nick? Any changes?
Mayor?
I don't have any changes.
Okay, so we have no changes for
Okay. Moving on to May 6th. which is a lot of work for you, but I know,
Well,
you know.
I'm trying to not.
Trust me, I get it.
The only difference is when I cut a lot of information
Then it
and
gets
don't
added
put
back
a lot
in.
of, you're gonna see a lot of attachments. But I'm trying to really cut these down
No, this is great.
to be bare bones, but sometimes you just can't.
And May 6th?
I had one change.
Turn the
Yeah.
tracks on.
Page 2, under timestamp 59R2, under further discussion, second paragraph, this starts Councilman Vandenberg. Is that new, is that supposed to be new reversion or new revision? I don't know what word that's supposed to be.
I think it's supposed to be
New
Revision.
revision? Okay,
but there's not an I in there, sorry.
that's okay. No, there's too many,
And then the R.
Yeah,
needs
because
to go
mine
out.
says revision. He said he was against signing the new revision.
no, it says reversion.
Mine says revision in my statement.
Oh, in your statement,
Yeah.
revision.
So I think it's meant to be
I think it's
revision.
revision.
Okay,
And I'll just,
that was my only change.
okay.
Good catch. Anything else, Nick? Okay. Next up, May
Is
15th.
that it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me save these.
All right, I didn't have any changes to the May 15th budget, but I did for the regular.
Okay, so do we need to pull the 15th up?
For the regular portion of it, but not the budget portion.
Budget
There's
work
two.
session.
Did you have anything, Joe?
I did not.
Okay,
So then no,
all right, so I won't pull
but the
this up.
regular one, yeah. Mine was on the third page at the top. Okay, under A, the last sentence, it starts Councilman Epps.
Mhm.
Should it be trees and shrubs and not scrubs? Should it be shrubs?
Yes, it should be shrubs,
Okay.
not scrubs.
I was like, that was my only change.
Yeah, your clerk can't spell.
That's okay. I mean, it was spelled right if it was supposed to be scrubs.
Spell check doesn't.
Spell check doesn't figure that out.
Right?
Yeah, that's right, it just, you know.
Ah, boy, oh boy. Okay.
And I was trying to get through with finish these by my deadline, and
It's okay.
No, it was
By the
fine.
way, Barbie, I like the fact that you can get these out early to us as
Yeah.
they come out, and then they're ahead of time, and we have time to read it, so there's really no excuse to not come prepared to the
Right.
work session.
so as soon as I get, my plan is
Oh,
after the meetings,
We're not
that's
gonna be
what
long
I'm
enough for
gonna
that.
spend my Friday doing, is transcribing your minutes. And then if I'm through on that Friday,
Get 'em
then
out.
I'll go ahead and send them to
Perfect.
you. If I need another day, then I will send them to you as soon as I get them finished.
It's
and
perfect
proof.
having them early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, there's
awesome.
no reason not, if it's in your time
Yeah,
frame and it
and
doesn't
they're gonna
affect
be
your
in Word,
workload.
so.
Perfect.
Yeah, you agree with that, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay, because
That works out good.
I just don't want any more.
Yep, let's keep going.
20.
May 20th, I had no changes.
Oh, you're through with these?
Yep,
15?
Oh,
I'm done with those.
Hold on, let me.
I don't know if
save
anybody
this.
else is. Are you guys done with those? Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
are you finished with those?
Okay, and we're doing, the 20th?
Yep,
Mhm.
I'm good with those.
Nick, do you have anything? Okay,
No changes on those?
no changes.
Okay.
Moving on to work session, May 30th.
I did not have any changes there.
Mayor?
None for me.
All right, moving right along, June 4th.
It's a regular meeting.
Mhm.
I did not have any changes.
I did not see any, or catch any revisions as well. Hold on one second. Yep.
You're good?
Yep. Nick?
I'm good.
Moving
That-
right
that-
along.
That went from 60 minutes to 12 minutes.
That's great, isn't it?
I had,
Alright.
I had one change on the first. It's,
Okay.
it's at the very beginning. It's Mayor Plano called at 10:15.
Yes.
He verified a quorum.
Oh,
That was my only change. That was it.
there's a space right there. Oh, let me change this. There's some extra space in there. All right, was that the only change, Mayor? Did you have any changes here?
Nothing for me.
All right.
I had one on the 25th.
Moving on to July 25th.
July 25th. Okay.
Mine's on page 3. Under Village Hall. Action 1. First sentence. I don't think there should be a dollar sign in front of 20,000. I think it's square feet, not dollars.
Oh, I think I just did that.
Yep, that's okay.
And it just really, and it doesn't need a, well, I guess
No,
that's
you need the,
okay.
yeah, you need the
I
comma.
think the comment.
Yeah, the comma's fine,
yeah.
I just didn't need the dollar
Just no
sign.
dollar sign, okay.
That was it.
Okay. Nick?
You're good with that?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's all of them.
So I'd like to make a motion. Oh wait, hang on, Barbie, tell me when you're ready, sorry. Sorry,
That's okay.
sorry.
Okay. All right, Katie, motion.
I'd like to make a motion to
Put the meetings on the
yeah,
consent
put-
agenda for.
Well, you need to direct me to make the changes.
okay, I'd like to make a
As
motion.
amended.
You do it, Joe.
So I'd like to make a motion to, for all of the minutes discussed, 4:10:19, 4:15:19, 4:30:19, 5:6:19, 5:15:19, 5:20:19, 5:30:19, 6:4:19, 7:1:19, and 7:25:19 meeting minutes. Direct Barbie to make changes as amended in the work session and to put on the consent agenda for September 11th regular
10th.
meet, September 10th meeting for approval. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have review of final resident survey and postcard for information only.
Okay, great. I would like to mention that I
That's
talked
sarcastic.
to Jessica and she's still open for minor revisions. So it's not necessarily for information only. If you go through this and you find something that you want to.
It's not in here, is it?
It's not because it's online only, but we're gonna pull it up on the computer.
Oh,
The postcard's in here though.
oh yeah, okay.
On that note, while we're doing that, let me pass out the new version of the postcard after a planning board reviewed it.
Okay. So this is what it was and this is
This
what it
is
is?
what it was before planning board reviewed it.
Okay.
That was like last week or so. So their main comment was less text, more oomph. So you can see that reflected. in
So
the new-
how do, can you help me with, and this is a logistics thing, how do we know we're asking for one vote per voter or one vote per household?
household.
Okay, so how do we know that that is linked to that household and not multiple ones are coming from a household? How is that secured?
Because each code can only be used once.
Okay.
The
Perfect.
code will be on the back.
So families are gonna have
in this
to
area.
To discuss
have a
and
discussion that either you're gonna do it, honey, or I'm gonna do it, and or we can
Mhm.
sit down and do this together. And we get
Yeah.
one vote, one voice. Once we hit click, that household is no longer accepted.
the code's no longer
Yeah.
valid.
That's the
Perfect.
idea. Hey Barbie,
Okay.
Hey,
Just check.
can we pull this up on the TV here?
pull what up?
The survey like we did in that planning board meeting.
Yeah, this is, I mean,
Okay, great. Since this is the same line item, we can talk about this.
So where is it?
The same way, there's a bit.ly link in the memo, in the minutes, so that,
Okay, well,
let's see.
where is that?
Can I
Do you
borrow
have your
this?
memo?
yeah, you have whatever you need. What do you need? Here?
The previous page, yeah.
Here?
No, yours.
Well, if I did it on this computer, would it remember it if I
Oh,
just
yeah,
did
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you
All
start typing bit.ly, it'll autofill.
All right, so if I do bit,
Yeah,
There it is.
there it is, yep.
right here?
No,
right
just hit
here.
enter. Yep, there it is. Awesome. So you can also use the same short link to access it on your phone, but we're having an internet issue today, so it's gonna be a little slow. But anyway, this is the kind of test page for the.
Do you want to scroll it?
Sure, I'll do it.
Just don't close it all the way out.
This is the test page for the survey, and you can see here that this is what it will look like if you take it on a desktop, and this is what it'll look like if you're taking it on your phone. So what I wanted to do in this agenda item is basically just go through this survey and show you what it will look like when people are taking it.
Okay, let's go.
Perfect. Let's go.
Let's do it.
And let's,
See how long
Yeah.
it takes to take this
Yeah,
test,
sure,
and as we
sure.
can say, this should take you 30 minutes.
15.
15.
15, whatever it is.
15.
Give me a number.
Sure. Okay.
The way we're moving, 10. Let's go.
So, splash page, dear residents, this is what we're doing.
So this is what was here, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Survey should take approximately 15 minutes.
Oh, we're
We're
not
not gonna have-
gonna be here. We're not gonna be here.
Okay, nope, not a chance.
Okay. Then we're moving on. This is a little, hey, in case you didn't know, this is what Marvin looks like. Moving on. Okay, now the questions. How many years have you lived in Marvin?
Yep, pick one.
Including yourself, tell us how many people are in these age groups.
5. Oh,
One more thing is that basically all the questions are optional except for,
where is this? What home is it? Who lives? Who
Who
has?
cares? Keep going.
in what subdivision do you reside? If your home's not in a subdivision, please select no subdivision. If your subdivision is not listed, please select other.
Perfect.
And type in the name of the subdivision
Let's do it in this
below.
work.
We actually are a subdivision.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
We are. Okay.
Okay, and what zip code is your primary place of employment located? If none, write NA.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Zip code. Spouse is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I just wanted to put it
Oh,
and see that if
that's-
that works actually,
okay.
because that's not something that we tried. Obviously, this is not the actual survey, so these responses
Right.
aren't going to be recorded. But even if they were,
That
we
would
know- we
be
know
an
to-
outlier,
We know to
so-
throw it out because it's before the date of. It will be submitted before the date of opening.
Okay. So how do you feel?
How do you feel about living in Village Marvin?
Wow,
That's not the question.
Okay, I was gonna say, man.
This is the question. That's like the heading.
Okay.
Really? I don't even like that. I think it should just be community character.
Yeah, communicator. What adjectives? Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
Tell us
get
how
that.
you.
Get rid of
I
that.
feel like that's like a fill in the blank, like the way it's spaced out.
people-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they may want to try and type something in there.
Yeah.
It's misleading the way it's worded.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary. Okay.
May not be the right time to ask that question.
That's fine. We have room for minor edits, and if it's at your discretion to say,
So it's.
I mean, I
interesting
take it
enough,
out
adjectives.
if you can take it out. If you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
leave it in and just kind of clear it up a little bit, but I think,
Because it looks like it almost needs an answer. but-
Yeah,
Right,
that's where I went right
I see
to
what
that.
you're
Like,
saying.
wow, that's an open-ended question.
And it's
Okay.
open. This is open for
Green,
my
comfortable, those are interesting adjectives. Green, comfortable. I'm just wondering why we have comfortable.
because do you feel
Okay.
comfortable? Like, I think it's a comfortable area.
All right, underdeveloped. Why wouldn't we have overdeveloped? If we're gonna put underdeveloped there.
Joe,
I'm just asking. It's a fair question.
because it's right there.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it.
Alphabetical.
Overdeveloped.
Okay.
Christine, got
Good,
it.
that's good.
All right.
Yeah,
Young.
just click.
Let me see.
Is young an adjective?
Well, you know, the interesting thing though is if you look at
Young.
them,
Young person.
almost all of them are nice things though.
Yeah.
There's nothing,
Well,
you know, it's,
you
you
guys-
know.
Overdeveloped is the only-
peaceful,
Can we put other and then
Uh,
fill in the space? Just
I
to,
don't think there's an other for
Okay.
this question.
Because everything in there sort of
Yeah.
makes it sound like everything is nice about this.
Well, then if nobody likes anything, then they should
they're not gonna click on it.
move out.
Yeah, maybe find a new town.
What are some of your reasons for living in the village of Marvin? You can select. Well, I mean, you guys have gone through the survey tons of times, you know, so this is just to see the format.
Yeah,
So
I like
this
the
doesn't
format.
have a minimum here.
This
You
is
can
3.
click on
It
as
does
many.
say three,
Three.
but
It does say
I think
3.
you
Let's
can.
see. Let's see how many you can click on.
There's 6.
Okay, see if it lets you move on. Hi. That's a question to ask if it has like a number and they click more than the number, if it'll kick it back. Oh, it
yeah,
does.
like,
Okay,
one over
good.
that. Okay.
Perfect. All right, good. Okay.
All right. So that worked. Okay. So we have a bit of a description here. This is Village Center District section. This is
Distinct pedestrian-oriented district designed to reflect the small downtown atmosphere and include places for members of the community.
You've read all this.
I know, but I'm just doing this because
Proofreading.
people are gonna read this, and this is gonna be part of this 15 minutes that you say
Oh, okay.
that we're doing. So I'm actually going
That's fair.
through it. The Village Center District could host small-scale neighborhood retailers and stores, village nearby residents. Do you support development in village located in Marvin and Village Road? Yes or no?
okay. And this is one of the questions where if you answer no, then it skips the next couple of questions.
Okay,
Okay.
so put yes so we see what the next questions are.
Sure.
Not because I
Right.
agree with that, I just want to see all the questions.
So in the Village Center District, these public spaces would be the most important to you. And then you can,
And then does it say a number? Oh, no, it just gives you a degree.
Strongly,
Strongly agree.
yeah.
Okay.
strongly disagree.
Good.
You can put something for each
All right,
one.
don't fill one in and see if it kicks it back.
Oh, it shouldn't, because all of the questions are optional except for 7 and 10.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What's that important to you, most important to you? Okay. Restaurants, skin, salons, okay. Put a salon in there. Want a bar.
Want a saloon?
That's
Saloon.
Yeah, that's salon is not a saloon. No, sorry.
Ice rink. I was asked that question last night yesterday in Marvin. There's no ice rinks? I go, as much as I like the ice, no ice rinks for Marvin. That was from a commissioner.
Okay, so
That
it
is
doesn't,
true.
so it doesn't make you answer each one.
No, it doesn't.
Interesting. Okay.
Only 7 and 10 are mandatory, and that's only because the survey needs to know
Makes
if you're
it,
gonna
yeah.
skip the next couple of
Would you like
questions.
to see more commercial
All right, so this is
development?
one that takes you to the next question or
Right.
kicks you forward.
I'm gonna show you just to select, just
Okay.
to show you to select when you select no for would you like to see more commercial development in Marvin other than the Village Center District? It will skip
Kicks you
to
to 13.
Yeah.
What if you say you don't know? What does it kick you to?
I don't think it will kick you if you say don't know. It should just go to 11. Let's find out though. Oh, it does go to 13. Interesting.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
All right. Because I'd rather it take them to the next question, because if they don't know, then I'd like to get their input on the next 2 questions. Can you
Okay.
have them
That's possible.
do that? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because if they don't know or they don't have an opinion, Well, maybe if they
See what
see
the next
more,
question is, yeah.
more what we're talking about, then they have an opinion.
Right, that is totally doable. So basically, just have, if you select don't know, it will do the same thing as if you select yes. Or
Correct.
Just go to the
Yeah.
next question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Commercial development environment of the village center district. Commercial.
Did you guys see that they cleared some of the public's land?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a shame all those big trees,
I
but
know.
In that regard, I'm going to check the site in about 2 weeks just to see if they kept the tree preservation that they are supposed to.
Oh, good. Okay. Outside of the village district, what non-residential development types would you like to see in the next one? Outside of the village district, what?
Outside.
Okay. All right.
a lot of that's already there, right?
Yeah, no.
Outside of the village center,
Outside
but
of
in
it.
Marvin.
Oh, outside the village center district, okay. I was thinking outside Marvin.
No,
Can you bold outside even though it's in italics? Can you bold it too?
Can you bold it too?
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
maybe, just to make it bolder.
Or maybe outside the village center district, but still within Marvin.
No, we're asking about Marvin.
I know, but still within the Marvin boundaries, would you like, because I read that outside the village of Marvin, I read that as me, that outside of Marvin, village district, people, they don't half of them don't even understand what the village district is, so I
No,
would
but we
read
just
that.
explained it in the previous question.
All right, well, I'm just saying that people may look at that as but outside of Marvin, but outside the village district, but within the village of Marvin boundaries, what non-residential development would you like? That's all I'm saying, is to clarify that in those few spaces, 400 acres that's left, that we talked about yesterday, you know. But that's just my opinion.
Okay. You want to go forward with that or no? Seems like you're.
I mean, if people can't read the first question and know that we're talking about inside,
But you're saying outside the village center district, even though if some people may just read that as
I know, but-
outside the village,
then. Okay.
but within the boundaries of Marvin, what non-residential development,
Rohit, if you can add, but in Marvin.
but still within the boundaries of Marvin?
And add it if it's too much of if it's more of a major change, then.
I mean, the difference between a major change and a minor change is only for your own policy because you voted on these questions, and today should really only be for formatting proofreading as opposed to wording.
Okay,
We've got
then
quorum,
fine.
we can vote on it.
Yeah. It's non-financial. It's your call, guys. If I'm trying to.
I
get
don't
through
think
this
you
quickly.
need it. I don't
Okay,
think you need it.
perfect.
I think our residents are smart enough to know what we're talking about.
I hope so.
Okay, well then I won't add that to the list of changes. Okay, well now the answer choices. Agricultural related business, professional services, office space, restaurants, retail, coffee shops / cafes, or none. Alright, let's do select none and other options.
That allow you to select none and another option?
Yeah, I suppose.
Will it still let you do that?
Really shouldn't.
Or no more?
I'll-
It shouldn't allow you to go forward, right?
Once you pick none, well, it shouldn't let you pick anything else.
Right. Last time I
Once you
checked,
pick
none
something
is
else, you
none.
shouldn't be able to pick none, yeah.
Yeah, none is none.
Okay.
Okay.
I made a note of that. So I don't think Jessica was able to figure out how to make the map. You know, we were talking about if you can select your answer choice by clicking on the map itself, but
You can't do that.
you can't do that. So it's just going to be like this, which is I think perfectly.
So back up again, what's that say? Where in Marvin would you prefer to see commercial development? Check all locations that apply, okay. And that, if you say none, it should skip that, right? If you say none to the question before,
Mhm.
that should skip
Well, no, because this is about types.
Yeah, and even if you don't pick a type, you should still pick, if the village decides to do it, where would you most like to see it?
Yeah, you can still not want any of these types
And still pick a
But
place.
I read that and I say, where would you prefer? You're asking a question, go down a little more.
Mhm.
Where would you and Marvin prefer? I just checked none. And right before, and now you're asking me a question, where would I prefer?
Okay, because even if you don't want it and it's coming, where would you prefer that it would go?
Okay.
I mean, you may not want it, but if it's coming and it's gonna go somewhere, where
Right.
would you most
Okay.
want it to go?
Alright.
If you live in Innisbrook, you can mark, F, G, H, and I because they're all on this side, something like that,
Okay.
But, so now, if you put you're not in favor of commercial development, does that lock you out of anything else?
Let's find out. Sorry, we're having internet issues today. No, it went forward. Okay.
Which really doesn't
So-
make sense.
But
Yeah,
go back,
it doesn't.
Rohit, and take out your HGI, take out all those and see if you say, I'm not in favor, and see if it kicks you forward. Or if it just lets you go to the next, well, it's gonna let you go to the next
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
it's
it's
right
gonna let you
there.
Yeah, it should let you go to the next. But
Here's
what
the next
what
one.
Nick is saying is you just clicked on boom, but then you also clicked on,
You're not in favor.
it can't be both.
Yeah, so just like this question, I'm gonna see
Right.
if
If she can change that.
Yeah, she can make it so that once you click on none, it could,
It throws it back and
Yeah.
says,
Yeah, once you click on one of them, you can't click none, then
Yeah.
right,
either way.
yeah.
exactly. So I'll see about that.
Okay.
I do want to mention that Jessica had to buy and learn Qualtrics just for us. So she's been discussing.
Qualtrics, what's that?
Qualtrics is the name of this survey making program.
Okay.
And she had to buy it specifically for us because of the individual code thing that only Qualtrics could do. So she had a bit of a learning curve.
Well, that's good, she learned something new,
Yeah.
I love that.
She had a bit of a
I love
learning
learning
curve,
new
and
stuff.
some of the features that we were talking about, we're like, okay, we had to come up with an alternative because she couldn't figure
All
out.
right, can you back up so you've been through that.
Right,
really
sorry.
quick. That's all right.
I was distracted by what I was talking about. Anyway, all right, so this is the question that Mary said she wanted to see exactly from the previous survey, and here they are.
Okay,
So what should the maximum permissible building size be for an individual retail building in a development?
okay,
And I think you can only select one because it's a maximum, not a select all.
All right, well,
apply.
oh, it is, it kicks you out of,
Yeah.
like, whatever you,
It's
the
a
last one you
yeah, it's a
picked,
radio
okay,
button as opposed to a checkbox.
okay, cool,
Okay.
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 Well, what is that? That's the maximum size.
That's the maximum size that you will be fine with for one building in.
So it's not gonna let you pick
Commercial
more than
development.
one, cause it's the
Right,
max
right.
size.
That's not the village center.
Yes, and this is not the village center. There's no way we can fit a target.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Moving on?
Yep.
Okay. 14. If you have concerns with commercial development, please select your top 3 concerns from the list below.
There you go, there's a negative question.
And so one of the things that happened with the making of this question is that I think the way we wanted it originally was that you would rank 1, 2, and 3 as opposed to just selecting your top 3. But she couldn't figure out how to do that without making you have to rank all 11.
You're right.
And I thought,
That's crazy,
That's a
yeah.
little too much time.
Yeah,
to
just pick the
spend,
top
so-
3.
Top 3, we
So
can, yeah.
between ranking all 11 and just checking the top 3, we talked about it and
Okay.
decided that just select the top
Oh, that
3
makes
should be
sense.
fine. And I think this is one of those questions that if
Other, and then they can write in?
yes,
Okay.
But you picked 4, so I wonder if it kicks you
yeah, I
out.
think it should.
Should
it
kick you-
block
kick it
me
back, right?
From moving on, yeah.
Oh, it did
Oh, it
not.
didn't.
Oh,
Okay, okay.
So, yep, have her check that one. See, that's
Mhm.
good.
This is why we do this.
Exactly.
The planning board not go through
Lunch
this?
is sounding pretty good.
The planning board not go
We
through
did.
this?
We went through this for like a half an hour and we caught a handful of things.
Okay,
but,
good.
You know,
Well, that's good, then that's why we go through it
yeah,
again.
yeah.
I have a timer going right now. Just to
Yeah,
see
and we're
how
like
this
around
goes.
20 minutes, but we're also
But that's because
okay.
we're
We're
talking.
analyzing.
That's
and
okay.
yeah.
And I'm talking with my spouse as we're deciding this in real life.
That's true, that's true. It's like, no, I don't want it. Anyway,
All
so
right.
now we're on this section. Marvin currently allows for a limited number of lot sizes smaller
See,
than
again,
one
there's like a
acre.
big space there. I feel like they want us to fill, like, write something in there.
Okay,
I'm just looking, draw it, so.
Land use residential.
Because
Marvin currently
tell us
allows-
about it almost like you want a little
Yeah,
less.
yeah, yeah. You
I'm
gotta
like-
get rid of those.
I know,
Well,
it
that's
feels
it.
like, I wanna fill it like,
Yeah, this
Write-
is
write a
click,
paragraph
click,
there.
and maybe do a little bit of writing when you have other.
okay.
So remove that.
Yeah, I
Marvin
definitely,
currently allows for a
understand
limited
that.
number of lot sizes, smaller than 1 acre, purpose. Type of residential development do you feel would be appropriate such as subdivision? Boom, boom, boom.
okay?
Patio homes, townhomes, none of the above, don't know. So if you go to don't know, does that kick you into something else?
I don't think so,
Okay, so
but we can find out.
Alright,
that's what we're here for.
alright. If a greater percentage of land in a development is reserved for conservation rules of the following, okay? Up, 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 up. Alright, click don't know again and see what it does.
Okay.
Okay, back up with you, Marvin, consider resident. Support,
Consider residential.
smaller
Increase
setbacks,
residential.
smaller. Patio homes. Where is it, which would increase residential, but which of the following would you, why is, not the, what do they call it, where you still are yielding the same amount of homes, but you have more green space, what's that called?
Conservation, it's the one
okay.
right above it.
It's not up there.
It is, it's
I
not.
actually have a comment on that. I think that 17 should be on the next page because 15 and 16 have to do with that, the conservation area. And
Yeah.
17, and I think 18 also, has to do with, generally speaking, if Marvin were to consider increasing residential density.
Yeah, because of the previous two questions were asking about the conservation part, which is
Right.
like 3/4 of an acre for a lot, or a half an acre for
Right.
a lot, and then the other half acre is like green spaces.
Right.
Right, that's what you're talking
Yes,
about, yeah.
yes.
All right,
Okay, so question 17 should be on the next page, just for
Yeah.
clarity, just to make sure we're talking about not conservation, just in general.
yeah, pick don't know again. Because I don't think it's going to do anything for the other two.
I don't think so either, but that's fine,
Yeah.
because don't know is a valid option. Let's do a couple of pages on the
You
phone.
said Marvin residents were all smart, and you have don't know and all this.
Well, but
I'm kidding. Kidding.
I do think Marvin residents are smart.
I do too.
All right, let's
I'm
do
just
some on the
saying,
phone.
we're
Yeah, I'm
answering
gonna do a
don't know.
couple of pages on the phone, just
Would
so we
you
can
like
see
to
the
see
format.
more? Okay, so you're going to have 17 and 18 together on a page? See, 17
wait,
doesn't
wait,
go
wait.
with 18.
No, yeah, never mind. You're right. 17 doesn't go with 18. I thought there was another question I had.
Again, there's the tell us about what types of recreational activities or facilities you're
Got
using.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Would you
eliminate
like to,
that.
would you like to see more parks and recreation? Sure.
Okay. Less is more here.
Is walkability via
Yes.
sidewalks and greenways
Sure.
important to you? So yes. Okay. What are the most important greenway connections? Select all that apply.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Outside trails, select all of them.
Sure. Okay.
And don't
What
know.
additional amenities or activities?
I see it Marvin Eford Park,
Okay.
ice rink.
Other, ice rink.
We know where y'all are from.
Okay. All right.
We don't have ice in the south.
When does the big question come up though? How much more you want to pay in taxes to see what we
That's
still want?
22, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got that
Yeah.
bill.
It's 22, I think. Pretty sure. Oh yeah, here it is, 22. Which of the following services would you be willing to support with an increased tax rate, if any? where trash is a 5 to 8 cents increase, 1 cent increase for law enforcement, and 1 cent for traffic control officers. Those are the options here.
Yeah, 5 to 8 cents, and people would see that. What people don't realize, as much as that is a sensitive item, as we get into the road business and we take over our roads, having 4 different trash companies at 4 different times running down our roads, it's going to be much better from a wear and tear process to go with one company and have a one place that you call, and we again providing a service.
All right, keep going.
Okay, 23. Let's do this one on the phone, just so you can see that there's this kind of table here, and the phone lets
Can you go down so I can see what the verbiage is there? Just move the whole screen down a little bit. There you go.
The phone. Sorry. I'm gonna.
I'm like, you messing with me?
I'll do that after you're done reading. Sorry.
Indicate within the years. No, if the permit should be unidentified.
Okay.
Okay. I see.
All right, so yes or no, and then what's the priority if it's a yes,
Okay.
correct?
Yes, but since we're on this question,
What if it's a no?
Hold on. Actually, planning board wanted to request that you consider removing 23 because 24 asks the same thing with the same options in a much more concise way.
Why do we have 2 questions that are the same?
I'm not entirely sure. Oh, actually I do know, because every time we talked about the survey, we'd get to about number 17 and run out of time.
We finished it one time. We
No,
got
you
through the
finished it
whole
all
thing
the
one
thing.
time. Because I
We
wouldn't let
did.
us
Planning
leave.
board.
You did.
Because I wouldn't let us leave. All right, go back up to 23. I actually like the undertake portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
So take off the priority section of that one, of 23. Like, tell me
Mhm.
what you like, and then give me your support underneath. Does that make sense?
No. What do you say?
It's roughly the same thing though, isn't it? To say support versus
No,
Number
because
of-
because it's either yeah I want it or no I don't. Here you've
Mhm.
got
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Once you say no, there is no
split it
priority.
into 2 questions.
Yeah.
So keep 23 and 24,
Yeah.
but remove this priority section.
correct, and then leave
and
it
have
there.
24. So
Yes.
you can say,
Because what if they click on number 3 twice? Does that kick it back out? Because they didn't do it right?
Yeah, I don't like the
1,
priority.
2, 3, 4, 5, and they click on 3 twice
Right,
accidentally.
because you don't know, because they don't know that they're supposed to choose a different
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
for each.
So, but I like the undertake. Like, do I want
Okay.
it? Yes or no? Just give me black or white. Yes or no? Not agree, strongly agree. Kind of.
Yeah,
don't really care.
priority is should we do
And
priority
then
too?
24. Then you'll have your kind of your level
Yeah.
of support.
Strongly
Okay.
agree,
Yeah.
yes, because, so you're saying get rid of the priority?
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
but once they answered no on the question before,
Yes,
Part.
yeah, that part there, yes.
if they said no on the question before, then why would you?
But then it kind of goes back to Joe's point, the question about if I said no to I don't want anything, but then you've got to answer where do I want it? Because if it's coming, like where's your support for it? Like if we're gonna have it, is that like your number one?
So theoretically, if you said no, everything should be strongly disagree.
Right. Well,
Probably.
yeah.
I mean, if you're saying no, you probably.
Right. So I would just take off all the priority stuff. Leave it, do yes or no, and then give your level of support if we had to do one. If the village chose to do one, what would your level of support be? And it could be all strongly disagree if
Yeah.
you said no to everything up top.
Right,
Theoretically, yeah. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
yep. Okay,
Almost done. There's a survey completion bar down here, so you can see how close we are to the end.
and I started this timer at question number 10, and we're at 20 minutes right now.
We
so
started
we're
at
good.
11:06.
Yes.
Oh, we did, okay.
I know
So
that.
we're keeping time. So we're a half hour in, okay.
Mhm.
Statement applies to you.
Okay.
Engaging with the Village of Marvin, it says here. Do you want to remove that too, or oh, actually, that's one of those more bolder headlines. I
Yeah,
think
that should be bolded.
It should be bold. And so should this.
Again, remove,
Yeah.
tell us about your experience. Right above that. Someone said, yeah,
Yeah. remove
get rid of that.
I would just go through each page row head and take that and like bold
Make
parks
sure-
recreation.
Because
they're all
open
on
space. You're gonna have to go through every slide and just bold the top part and then that
And
tell
then
us.
get rid of the, something
us.
that's trying to,
Ask for me to write a paragraph.
Okay.
less is more.
All right.
Less time reading too. There's that ice rink again.
Okay. Well, that you can see that going backwards saves your options.
Yeah, which is good.
If you you're thinking about stuff and you change your mind and want to go back, you can do that.
All right,
So
just pick a couple.
please check any statement that applies to you. I'm aware of the Village of Marvin website, marvinnc.org. I'm subscribed to the residence list. I have attended a village event in the past year, attended a village meeting in the past year, but visited Marvin Eford Park. I have my Marvin Eford Park parking pass. I'm interested in volunteering. I'm interested in the new Treasury. And this is the last question, the open-ended, like, is there anything else you'd like to say? And we found at the planning board meeting that even though it's a kind of narrow-looking box, there's no character limit. So you can
Say all you want.
say all you want.
Okay, good.
Didn't hear it.
There was our opportunity. Okay,
Yeah.
and we are done.
Perfect, okay.
Exactly 30 minutes.
Really want an ice rink.
Okay.
Talk the fire going.
Yeah, we can do one.
Freeze the pool.
I'm gonna do one right outside of Innisbrook.
Or just ask the question.
I'll ask.
Thank you. Your response has been recorded when you get to the page.
Awesome.
If you're interested in
Okay.
receiving whatever you can
Yeah.
click. You
That was a half hour long that discussion, so less than 30 minutes. 15
So
minutes.
it really should probably take about 15 minutes.
Yep.
Go to the residence list and find out.
Okay.
All right, so I like the
Um,
postcard. I'm great with the postcard. I'm great with the survey. So do you need us to just make a motion to approve it as with the changes we made today?
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys want to talk about this anymore? Like, do you guys have any questions about
Can I
this?
go through the things I've written down? That's, I don't know if you discussed it as the amendments
Yeah,
before you make
If you-
that motion.
yeah.
Sure, okay. So we're talking about removing all the subheaders.
the tell us.
Yes.
Yeah,
And bolding all of the headers.
yep,
Answering don't know should take you to the next question, like answering yes for number 7 and number 10. Selecting none should remove the other options or somehow not let you choose none and other options.
yep,
Question 14 lets you choose greater than 3. That should be fixed.
yep.
Okay. Remove the priority section of the table from number 23.
Yep.
And I have one more thing that I want to put. I wanted the very last page, the one that says thank you, to say your response has been recorded, because it doesn't say that. Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. You good?
Did you discuss the timeline?
Not yet.
That's the next agenda item.
Yeah. Oh. We're not there yet. You good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the resident survey with the amendments that Rohit just talked about for distribution at the date we get ready to talk about.
Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay.
Next up, we have
I'll let he's-
discussion and consideration of dates to distribute residence survey.
Okay, so the timeline is that The contract ends October 31st. They need at least 2 weeks to tabulate it. So that means October 15th is about the last day that we can agree to have the survey open. But we also are going to try to have it open for 4 weeks. Planning board has recommended the dates September 9th through October 7th, both of which are Mondays, to have survey open. And I think that's all the information that I need to tell you for you to approve a set of dates. to
I'm
have
fine
survey
with
open
that.
both.
Month is plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think, this kind of goes with getting it out. I would like to, before the night, like maybe the Wednesday before, like an email coming out from us saying, hey, the survey's coming out. Get ready for it. Look for it on September 9th. You know,
Okay.
kind of start peppering them with information. I'd also say maybe reach out to the HOA presidents and have them send out an email to their HOAs and just say, hey, it's coming. Look for it. If you have questions or you don't receive it, call the village. You know, if you don't have it by, a couple of day lead or whatever. Because this is going to be emailed, right? Or this is going to be mailed. So are we mailing it out on the 9th, or are we mailing it out so that they should get it by the 9th?
We're gonna mail it so that they should get it by the night.
Okay.
Because the
Just,
survey.
heads up,
Starts now.
look for it in email, because a lot of people throw junk.
Oh, look for the postcard. It's
Yeah.
going to come in the mail.
Right.
Right. So say
And
that.
let's do a next door neighbor thing too.
Yeah, we can, let's do that. Let's send it out to the HOA president. Like, let's make sure that we're getting it out and sending out reminders throughout this time frame of the September 9th through October 7th. Like
This is the time to
constantly.
hear your voice and not have to show up at a meeting.
No, don't say that. We want people to
Okay.
show up in meetings. But let them know that it's, send out the updates and the emails, but let them know that they should have the postcard in their mailbox. Right? Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
So September 4th, which is the Wednesday.
Yep,
To have the email out with instructions through the residence list, HOA, and next door.
yep. And then throughout the time frame from the 9th to the October 7th, send out reminder emails to everybody.
we'll
Don't
do-
forget, fill out the survey. Deadline is this date. As it gets closer. Deadline's approaching, make it
So,
They need the
so
postcard.
let me ask you this, on the postcard.
right.
On the postcard.
Starts the 9th, so we want.
Right, but on the 6th, tell them it's coming. Look for it in the
Right,
mail. Get ready for
So we gotta
it.
make sure we get the postcard.
So on the postcard, do they have the access code on?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, the access
Hold on.
code will be right in this
So
space.
you essentially we have 3,000 homes.
Mhm.
You have 3,000 different codes on
Right.
each one separate from each one. So
Right.
what's to prevent someone from going and taking those surveys and gathering all those codes up and just
Because it's illegal to
Yes,
go through
it-
somebody's mail.
Yes, I was just.
right? So I'm just saying is like if they know when they're
It's a
coming out.
felony.
It's a federal crime.
I mean, you're going to jail. You start doing that stuff.
Right.
What's to stop somebody?
No,
The
nothing to stop
nothing.
somebody.
I mean, it's.
Well, someone could say
Go to
that.
jail.
Yeah, someone could say, well, we know if they didn't get theirs and stuff.
I mean, yeah.
But
But
the-
that's what I'm saying. If you don't have it, call the office. Say, hey, I
Yeah,
haven't
if you
gotten
have not
it.
received it, calls the office, because then here's what we'd want to know. That's why we would know there was some fraudulent
Yeah.
thing going on, because people call and say, I never got it, but yet
It
we
was
have their
answered,
code
yeah.
and they answered it.
Yeah.
We would see how much,
Yeah.
I
Nefarious stuff's going on.
put nothing past what people are willing to do.
I guess this is gonna be changed to say complete by September 30th.
Yes, she doesn't know the dates because
Okay.
we didn't agree
Yeah. Okay.
on dates yet.
All right. You good? So do you want a motion for that?
Let me describe what we discussed.
Okay, then I'll make the motion off of that.
So,
Listen up, Barbie, he's gonna do my motion for me.
on September 4th, we will email through various means the instructions and an alert that the survey will be opening and you'll be receiving a postcard
In the mail.
in the mail.
Yep.
On September 9th, the postcards, well, before September 9th, the mailers will be sent out so that by September 9th, everyone will receive it, and the survey will open, the website will be open for people to access it on September 9th. Then, on September 20th, the 23rd, 30th, and how early, how late on the last week? So
The
it's
5th, the Friday.
Okay, the 4th is the Friday. But
4th,
yes, sure.
yeah, sorry.
So on September 23rd, 30th, and October 4th, we will be sending reminders to people to take the survey, and if they didn't get the survey,
23rd, what?
23rd, 30th,
30th.
and October 4th.
10 for reminders.
Yep.
But I thought it says to complete it by the 30th.
No,
Oh,
we're gonna
okay.
change that to October 7th. So
Oh.
October 7th, the survey will close.
Yeah, that's good.
All right,
Yeah.
And we'll do one last reminder on the 6th, just this is the last day.
the Sunday. Okay, so September 23rd, 30th, October 4th, and October 6th on Sunday. So we're gonna be one of us is gonna be sending mail on Sunday.
Or the
We can
first
schedule it,
thing
we just
on
need to let you know.
the 7th, the morning of the 7th. This is the last day. If you haven't filled it out, you've gotta, cause don't they have till midnight on the 7th? Or what time do they have until the 7th to fill
That's a
it
good
out?
point.
I would say
We can
midnight.
decide that. We can
Okay.
decide
I would
that
say
now.
midnight.
Say midnight.
Rohit, we'll go ahead and, we had already done these dates in our calendars at one
Uh-huh.
point, then we changed them. We'll go ahead and do it again, and then if you wanna go ahead and send Barbie the language, she can go ahead and set up the message in MailChimp today,
Perfect.
and then it'll automatically just go out whenever she says.
But I would do it on the morning of the 7th and not the 6th. Like,
Okay.
this is the last day. If you haven't done it, get it done. Survey closes
Sure.
at
Yeah,
10 p.m. or
Yeah,
whatever.
that makes
do it
sense because
Yeah,
And
plenty of
so-
people will be inclined to do it that day if
Yeah.
they receive that
yeah.
kind of notification. Okay. So
Sky is falling.
23rd, 30th, 4th, and 7th.
Yep,
6th.
7th.
Yes.
Seventh.
She wanted to change it to
You're
the
not
7th.
doing, oh, okay, so
Yeah.
take the 6th out?
Yep.
Yeah, and just make it 7th.
Okay.
morning. And then October 7th midnight survey closes. That
Yeah.
means the website will no longer be accessible.
Perfect. And then they can start tabulating on the 8th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Good. Okay, so are we good? Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the dates and distribution methods of reminders, updates as stated by Rohit earlier.
Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
That
Next
works,
up,
right?
we have,
Amazing.
discussion of 2019 new copier proposals with recommendations.
And I've just opened this up real fast and I kind of thank Barbie for all of her work in getting this done. She's actually been able to reduce our overall cost in copier expenses and color copies. So
Good job, Barbie.
she's been working hard on it and she's got a good recommendation. We're not asking for action now, just want to let her just highlight what she's done and the research she's done to show you that we will have a cost savings and we'll put it on the consent agenda at the next meeting.
Can I ask a quick question?
Mhm.
In your memo, it said that there was only one company that did not offer. Was it only one company that did offer the North Carolina state contract
No.
rate?
The other two companies offered state contract rates. There was only one
That did.
that did not.
Oh, okay, all right.
And that was Hendrix.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Yeah, if you'll look at the spreadsheet,
Yeah, I didn't
it kind of
see-
goes down.
I
The
didn't
memo
see
is-
that one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So,
Rico is our current copier vendor now. And right now we have,
Oh, you reduced it by a lot.
yeah,
Good job,
we
Barbie.
have, we are charged by clip on paper for black and white and color. And that's for 60 months. And you can see where our lease amount is $183.99 currently with them. So if you, it looks like this. You'll have to go through all your attachments in your minutes.
That's what I'm looking at.
But if you'll look, everything is the same. The only option that I included in the new copier was 2 3-hole punch. Because making your binders, we have to buy a pre-punched paper, which is easier, or we have to manually make the holes. So it's just probably maybe $100 or $200 more to add that little feature in there, but it's a great feature.
But it's still way cheaper.
Yeah, but it still brings it down cheaper because you're not paying for you getting unlimited black and white and unlimited color copies. So we're not being priced for each color copy that we make.
So our service amount is going up.
Service
But-
amount's going up.
Yes,
But
service
the
amount's
overall
going up,
amount
but
is
the
going down.
overall
That's
is
great.
going down.
Good job.
It's over a $1,500 annual savings.
That's awesome. Good job, Barbie.
Thank you.
So unless y'all have questions, we'll put it on the consent agenda. and we'll just kind of
Put it on the consent agenda.
So we're going with which one?
So
The recode, the one
the proposed
highlighted.
Highlighted.
It's highlighted.
Yeah.
it's the state.
So on my copy
contract
it's
rate.
yellow, on your copy it's gray.
Yeah, so lease of 146.17.
Yes, and
The
it's
total
it's
is-
for 5 years, 60 months,
Great job.
and it's all in state contract.
Great job.
All right. Moving on, so we'll put that on for agenda if there's any issues that other council members can pull that back. Next up, reports and updates. First up, administrators report.
So just a couple things I wanted to go over. I know that you all had been expecting to see the AMT survey results for the pavement condition survey, as well as the curb and gutter survey. In an effort to save some money, we're actually trying to coincide Mike's inventory, AMT's inventory, while the resurfacing is going on. So he's gonna be here already. We just wanna kind of kill two birds with one stone. He's gonna do it while they're here, while he's inspecting some of that stuff as well. So that will be on the September work session. Just wanted to let you know about that.
And that's still going to include them assessing the.
Greenway? Correct.
Okay.
During the same time, I will add the road acceptance policy as well as the spec manual in there. Our spec manual obviously needs to have a couple of changes based on the typicals, if you remember, that were included in a couple meetings ago, where we tied in the curb and gutter
And
areas.
the manhole and.
Yeah, and that wasn't in our spec manual, so we need to amend that to include those things. But I'd also like to amend the spec manual to include the road acceptance policy, so it's not just its own standalone policy.
Okay. And that's going to be for the September work session or the regular meeting?
September work session, yeah. So that will be in there, just wanted to let you know that. Any questions on any of those two items?
Nope.
Rohit and AMT have sat down and talked about any additional changes that are needed to the spec manual as well.
Oh, any update on when they are going to actually start? Because I thought it was supposed to be 2 days ago.
It's supposed to be, what was the email?
Supposed to be this Monday.
It's supposed to be this past
Past
Monday,
Okay.
but I think they changed it to after Labor Day, so
Okay.
Oh, okay. They're
it'll be
still
next
contractually,
Tuesday.
they're contractually required to finish it by October 20th. All of them. Yeah.
The roundabout planning update, so this has been fun. We've been meeting with PRG Board Chair Mary Sight over the last couple of months, including DOT, to talk about the plantings that we had budgeted for in these roundabouts that we've got constructed. I think we had $10,000 this year budgeted for those roundabouts. We have since determined, we do have conduit that we put in with the roundabouts to run water and also electric. However, apparently there is a drainage requirement from DOT. So we cannot irrigate per DOT unless we have drainage in there.
Come on. How did they not tell us this when they're asking to put the conduit in?
Mike apparently said, this is, and I'm going by what Mike said, he said that it was brought up then, but it was decided not to cover it. I have not investigated that in depth.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's the
Not
first
true.
I've heard of drainage.
We said put it in there and to allow us to do future
That's what I thought too.
thing, and that
That's
should not be on
a
us.
bunch of baloney.
is
So-
not true.
Anyways, that's kind of what we're faced at. I'm getting some quotes right now on drainage just to see if y'all want to entertain that. The second best option is for us to hire a water truck to come in and do it in the middle
How,
of the
how
night.
much did we spend to put the conduit
Can't do
out
the
there to?
Well, that's not much, that's not much. Conduit is just, you're just doing piping, you're laying piping through all that
Yeah,
stuff.
but we still had to plan for it when we, and
Right.
it's still a line
But-
item that we still had to pay for.
Right, but that isn't the cost. The cost is, we clearly told them what
No,
our
I know,
goal was to do.
that's my point.
So anything being they're the ones that design it.
Who's Mike?
Walden with AMT.
So they're the ones that design it. That should have been considered in for consideration of
Yeah.
what that's gonna cost for drainage. Yes, if we have to add drainage to it, that, but that, you assume would have been, that's a big miss on their part,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
So we met last week in Union County because we were actually trying to figure out how to merge the water, sewer and all that with Village Hall so we could do it in one fell swoop, to see if we could save some money. And he came in and brought that subject up, and he said, and I have not confirmed this, but because this was right in the transition of me and Chris coming in, interchanging, he said that during that time, he was speaking with the former planner, and I don't know this to be accurate, I have not confirmed it, about the design, and it was brought up at that point in time, and it was decided not to do the drainage, but I have not confirmed it.
It certainly
makes
wasn't
no
brought up to
sense.
council.
It wasn't brought to us, and to do it now, it's gonna cost a lot more to incorporate drainage for that now. It's gonna cost a lot more, when you could have done it during the construction, that could have all been figured into that. That is a huge miss on their part.
And what I also plan to do is talk with Sean Anderson with DOT and just see if there's any way around it. I don't know.
Well, we need to find out if it was actually talked about and discussed
Okay.
amongst our
Because the
staff.
water truck thing is again
But
unacceptable
I mean,
too.
the water truck, they're still gonna water it, it's still gonna need to drain somewhere.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean,
Plus you're gonna pay for a truck every time.
if we can't find where they gave us that information, where it's, you know, written down or whatever, then AMT is gonna need to
And
figure that out.
I would say
That's on
that,
them.
that if we're, all that
And if it's on us,
pre-construction work
then
that
it's
was
on us,
laying
but-
out, that's a DOT thing too. If we're saying that what you allow there and stuff, then they should have at some point said, well, okay, if you're gonna put foliage in there or whatever, you're gonna need drainage, here's what that's gonna, they never presented it to us. And to come back and say, oh, now you need drainage and now you gotta tear up those, the actual and stop traffic and actually go through and cut through where drainage is gonna come in.
I'll get some more information.
Figure
This
out.
happened Thursday, I think.
I would have, I don't even know how you would start with that, but that's,
So
Yeah.
we'll go back. I just want to let you know that
it never
It's-
was presented in front of us.
It
as
wasn't
far as-
presented
Well,
to council.
we
for
basically
sure.
said we wanted
conduit.
conduit to do whatever we had to do.
From a-
to
For
run.
irrigation and
And-
lighting.
Right,
And
right.
if that required drainage, they should have told us at that point, well, you know, you're
Right.
also gonna need drainage with that.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, somebody missed, you
Yeah.
know, or didn't tell us.
We're-
We never said we didn't want to do drainage.
No, that's the first I've heard of drainage.
But Mary Sipe had wanted me to just let y'all know that, you know, we knew that the fall plantings would be expected in the next couple of months. She just wanted to let you know that that's kind of where we're at, so you're not going to be seeing any plantings in the next couple of months.
Oh, I was gonna say, we can't plant anything till we have irrigation.
Yeah.
So let me ask this, what's there now, what they planted, did they not consider, because rain falls, nature falls, rain falls, where's the drainage go now? I mean, they had to incorporate that in, given that it was dirt in there, they had to have some sort of drainage, or do they just, you know, is that their design, that, oh, no
And
drainage?
I asked Mike last week about the standard or the specification in DOT's manual, like where I could find it myself. And we've been having some back and forth and trying to figure some things out. So we're still talking about it. We're still trying to iron
So
things out.
AMT's telling us this, but DOT is not.
Correct.
Let's get a DOT and find out what it really is.
Well,
because-
DOT, when our neighborhood was trying to put in a thing, they were suggesting, oh, we couldn't do a water fountain because of drainage.
No, I know,
and stuff.
but what you're saying is, I mean, and,
They were getting
and,
involved.
but what you're saying is, I mean, they've gotta have drains, like for runoff, off of that slope, and the, like misters, which is what I'm assuming we would put in there, we're not gonna have like a, like, we're gonna have misters, that
They have a
doesn't,
drip system is what you.
but that doesn't, you're not gonna have runoff, like,
Well, yeah, but they look at it from the winter, when, if ice forms or say a water line breaks or something like that, and then what happens or whatever, but it's usually a drip system that's put in there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, there's not gonna be runoff, that's what they were talking about,
There's still gonna be
drains for
runoff.
runoff.
Yeah.
Like, there's not gonna be much.
We'll
For a
go,
drip
we're still
system.
looking at it, so if
Okay.
y'all don't mind just letting staff go back and further assess, that's kind of where we're at.
You have a water truck come in and pour water on it.
I know,
Runoff.
there's gonna be runoff, there's gonna be more runoff doing that than a drip. Alright, go ahead.
Okay.
The last thing I want to talk about real fast is Tullamore
Uh-huh.
Phase 2. I know this has been a project on the works for the last couple of months, and everyone's been inquiring about it, particularly the HOAs and the residents in that area. And what we have discovered is our trail standards that were recently revised a couple of months ago have some standards in there for trails that are considered to be impervious. And according to our flood zone ordinances, there are certain portions of areas that cannot be impervious. So, for parks, greenways, trails, that sort of thing. You can have greenways and trails in flood zones that are non-impervious, that are pervious, but there's certain portions of it that you cannot have impervious surface in those flood zones. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So what we're doing is Rohit's gonna come to you all at the next couple of meetings for an interpretation of our ordinance, to determine if you believe that it means exactly what I just said. If you recall a couple months ago, I had, or maybe it was in PRG meeting, there's a stream, and then there's a certain perimeter around it where it's called a managed use zone, and then beyond that it's called an upland zone. And in the managed use zone, the ordinance specifies, and I'm basing this off of a 6-month memory, trails can be built, but it does not say pervious or impervious. However, on the upland zone, it says impervious is allowed. So in my interpretation, it's kind of a silent implied pervious is required in that managed use zone, if that makes any sense. So he's gonna have some graphics for you. He's gonna come back and show you in detail what I'm talking about, so you all can interpret if the trail standards that we just approved are applicable to this Tullamore Phase 2. That's the holdup on that. That's why we haven't started on that project yet. In addition to, the final plat was redone a couple of months before I got here, or right when I got here, so that it would include an easement change. We had determined that the easement initially was in a flood zone where we couldn't put the trails, and so the HOA decided to change the easement. We resurveyed it, we got it recorded. However, we did not get the final plat approved from the planning board and the council. So we're gonna do that in the next couple of months. Rohit's working on that, and as soon as we get these things done, we will be able to start on that project. Just wanted to let you know what the holdup was.
Okay.
And we're also working with Stantec to see if they can revise our maintenance agreement with Tullamore that shows the old alignment of Phase 2. So we got the easement for the new alignment, but we also need to revise the maintenance plan.
Okay.
That's gonna cost a little bit of money.
That is gonna be a cost that we didn't budget for, but it shouldn't be much, and we want to bring that to you all at a later date and let you know how much it's gonna be. And then we can pull that out of the capital funds that have been budgeted for greenways and trails. It shouldn't be, but maybe $2,000, if even
Something like
that.
that.
We should be fine.
Since we're talking about that area over there, have we heard back from Amber Meadows about redoing their trails and getting the money? I mean, I know we're just gonna do it, but where are we with that? Especially if they want bond money back.
They're initially what we were doing, our strategy was to withhold bonds until that was paid. However, they're two separate issues, and we can't withhold bonds.
So
for
where
that.
are we with that? It's been a year and a
They're
half.
waiting on us to release our bonds. They're pulling a strategy that we were trying to pull, and they're waiting on us to release those bonds, and then they will give us the money. That's what-
We're gonna.
Do we have that in writing?
No, we don't.
let's get
It's
that
all
in
been
writing.
verbal conversation.
Let's get that in writing. Seriously, like, this is ridiculous. It's been a year and a half. They know their trails are not up to par. Their residents aren't happy about it. I mean, I went out there and walked them and about fell.
Same.
And I mean, that's an over 55 community out there. So let's make sure our residents are being safe, and let's get that in writing from them. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
And that's all I have, unless anyone has any questions.
I have one question,
Go ahead.
another question. I don't know if it's one.
Yeah, that's number one.
Where are we with the website?
Barbie has actually got that on the September agenda.
Perfect.
We actually had it on this agenda, but it was so big that we
Okay,
pulled it
so it's
off.
on the September 10th agenda because we've talked about it, and we know which one we want to go with, let's just to approve it.
Yes.
Can we just throw it on the consent agenda?
Yes.
Perfect.
My question
Thank
would
you.
be road repairs that are supposed to take place and it started supposedly Monday. Are we confirmed that we have crews out on any of these neighborhoods? I know there was 4 or 5.
Here when we said they were going to start after Labor Day.
What's that?
Were you not sitting here when they said
After Labor Day.
after they just said it was
After
going to start
Labor Day, I
after
missed
Labor
that.
Day?
I'm sorry. I'm
So-
sorry I missed that.
So real fast for
Sorry,
I
Mr. Mayor.
apologize.
the
That's all right.
audience listening.
I was confirming a
Yeah.
text on something.
All right.
So.
And so if anyone's listening to this audio, we unfortunately do not have a lot of information that's given to us from the contractor. We currently do not own those roads, majority of those roads, DOT does, so they actually are the ones that are subcontracting that work out to someone else. So DOT is the one that manages the contract. We get very little information, unfortunately. It is very unfortunate for us and our residents because I know that everyone wants to have that information. But unfortunately, we aren't the contractor, so we don't have a lot of the information.
So bottom line is, if we have if residents have questions right now about when it's going to start, they should contact DOT because they would have that information versus
DOT would have
us.
it, yes.
Okay.
Before
We,
us.
we should have some information, but we just don't have as much as DOT does.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're not trying to withhold any information or surprise anyone, it's just we surely don't have the information to give.
And I did get a letter saying that we have now 5.1 miles of roads turned over officially
We just
from
had
DOT.
last year's turned over.
Right.
So that's great for us.
I got a letter confirming that. Yep, okay. So it takes some time even after the roads were done and completed, so, okay.
It's a long process.
All right, anything else? Thank you, Christina. Next up, we have planning report. First off is Marvin Gardens.
Great. So I just wanted to let you know that Marvin Gardens has broke ground. They started around July 31st, and they expect to have Publix and 2 2 tenant buildings open by winter 2020. We're going to be doing checks. AMT is going to be doing checks to make sure they're building it correctly. We have a lot of residents, calling in and asking about that, and yeah.
So winter of 2020?
Yeah.
So,
Do we know any tenants? Will they tell us when they get tenants?
I heard it's a Dunkin' Donuts.
You want to know if they will get tenants? When they get tenants, you want to know who they are? Is that what you're
Sure.
saying?
I mean, I'd like to know.
Yeah. I mean, I saw something on next door from somebody.
Oh, did
when
you?
Chase that says
so how would they know
it says a
that?
Dunkin' Donuts coming.
Because they're gonna
Where's
lease it?
No, I know, but where is that information coming from? Like next door neighbor,
No,
he mentioned
I
that
want like
2020.
the developer. The developer's
Right.
going to lease it out, right?
Right.
I was asking how are people on next door?
How are people next
Oh, I
door
don't know.
learning
Oh, I
that
thought you were asking me. I was
Dunkin'
like, the developer
Donuts is
knows?
going to be in there?
I don't.
I guess Dunkin' Donuts would be a question too, because Dunkin' Donuts is going to be a drive-through, which
That would be one of the
Well, not
drive-throughs,
necessarily.
Right, because
or could be.
the
But
first
possibly.
2 buildings that are coming, the first 2 tenant buildings aren't drive-through buildings.
They
So
don't
Okay.
have to be. There's a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
and
Right,
it's
right,
not.
but then we talked about what type of restaurants and what they would have and
That's,
stuff.
yeah, I mean, I would like to know, like, when they get tenants, I'd like to know.
Yeah, once they have
who's
signed
coming in.
contracts, that
I
would
mean,
be good,
people-
so,
We can send out email, I mean, residents would like
Yeah.
to know that, like, who's
Yeah.
coming. So,
Sure.
yeah.
We can just send Asa an email,
Yeah.
just ask him, just out of courtessy, could you let us know?
Sure.
Yeah. Like, we're excited that they're coming, so I'd love to know what other,
Okay.
businesses are coming to the area.
yeah, it's just, obviously, we don't want bad information going out, but then
Right.
consider it as a source, next door neighbor, it could be anything,
I
so.
think it was, again, it doesn't matter. The person who put it, I think, was a former member of the planning board.
Yeah,
That put it.
okay.
do you have any other questions on that?
Nope. Next up is commercial corridor conditional district.
Okay, so the owners of the properties at the northwest corner of Bonds Grove Church Road and Providence Road have submitted their application for rezoning from R residential to CCCD, which is Commercial Corridor Conditional District. That happened on July 25th. So since then, They've had one public involvement meeting.
Oh, I heard a lot of people came.
Yes.
I heard people are not happy.
Yes.
Yes, okay, keep going.
That occurred on August 7th here, and we had a lot of input from a lot of residents. I'd say about 90% of them were from Courtyards, and the remainder of them were from Barrington, which is a neighborhood across the street in Waxhaw.
Yeah.
They had, I mean, their comments were very wide-ranging. I couldn't describe them to you all right now. Then we had a planning board meeting regarding that subject on September 17th, and planning board also gave their next round of reviews. So as part of this rezoning process, they have to go through 2 public involvement meetings, 2 planning board meetings, any additional, so those are the required ones, and then any additional public involvement meetings or planning board meetings that they feel are necessary, and then it will come to village council. So at this time, this is just an update for you.
How many acres is it total?
It's 9.4.
Okay.
So it went to planning board once already?
Yes.
Okay, like with the developer?
The developer and the site designer were there.
Did they say what they wanted?
You mean planning board?
No, the developer.
Developer,
What do they want to put there?
Oh, they're looking at about 50,000 square feet between 4 buildings of small retail services and office space.
Okay.
So we can limit uses in there, right?
Yes, the conditional district in our ordinance has a list of permitted uses, which is smaller than a normal business
So
district.
So they'd fall into line with those options?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So I think that's where the public information, because they gotta understand it's a heavily traveled street, and if there was gonna be something like a tax office there, it's not gonna get a lot of traffic, but it's gonna be a place.
Well, and they're getting ready
Or
to
a law
widen it, and
office.
they're, I mean,
Right.
isn't that one of their critical intersections too?
It was one of their critical intersections, but they have not funded it, so
Gotcha,
it's
okay.
probably not going to change.
Anytime soon?
And the site already incorporates the widening. The site
Okay.
design.
Okay.
In the memo that you have, it's not said because I didn't know until a few days ago, but the next public involvement meeting will be on September 9th at 3 to 5 p.m. at Bonds Grove Church.
So at the site?
Bonds
Well,
Church.
the site,
Oh.
yeah, the site itself.
Road.
can't-
I was waiting for him
yeah.
to say road.
No, the site itself
Sorry.
can't support the meeting
Gotcha.
because it's just
September what?
September 9th,
At 3 to,
3 to 5 p.m. That's a Monday, and it
over here.
at Bonds Grove Church.
Oh, Bonds Grove.
So Bonds Grove Church is at the corner of Bonds Grove Church Road and Providence, just across the street from that
Okay.
site.
And then do you want a joint meeting here?
Oh yes, I did mention that in the memo too. It says in our ordinance that if you'd like, you can have a joint council meeting at the next planning board meeting, which is September 17th.
With the developer?
Yeah, the developer and the site designer will be there to have, their required second planning board meeting as per the ordinance. And so our ordinance also says that if you want to have a joint council meeting at that time, you can. So that is an invite to you if you want to have that.
But you'll have to call for a special
Right,
meeting.
but that's, we would only be there for that, though,
Right.
right? So, and they would put that first on the agenda? I would.
Yeah, there's nothing,
I have no,
nothing else that's really urgent.
well, I would want that, yeah. First on it, so we're not sitting through it and stuff, just to come in.
Yeah.
Get that. So I'm open to that.
Will be an evening meeting?
Yes.
6:30.
Okay with that?
When is our next meeting?
17th.
September 17th.
10th,
Ours is the 10th, theirs is the
Yours is the
17th.
maybe the week after.
Is that something that you want us at?
I'm open.
Or do you think it would hinder the conversations more before?
First off, we need more space. It needs to be moved.
Oh, the planning board meeting needs to be
Yeah.
Oh,
it
we
needs
had
to be
a-
moved. Yeah,
very high attendance at the
Yes.
last planning board meeting.
Yes.
For the
Because of
public.
that?
Yeah.
and
Okay.
it would be helpful. I mean, you know, for your knowledge even.
You'd rather have us, I just don't wanna like be there prematurely and like
Well, we
get
have
like, yeah, kinda,
in all honesty, I was gonna discuss this later, but we're gonna jump
Sorry.
into it. I mean, you know.
sorry,
to-
Mr. Mayor, I
to
didn't even
the-
ask. Can I
That's all right.
engage the planning board chair?
Yes.
Thank you, sorry.
I'll make a motion to,
To the extent that you want to discuss this now, we didn't get, quite honestly, in great depth with the owner and developer for a couple of reasons. One, you know, and one of which was that he had just submitted a new site plan to Rohit that day.
Something like that.
I think,
It's like
you know,
a couple days.
and we didn't have a chance to even see it. I think all of us had some, you know, pretty serious concerns about the plan. That, and I could go through them, you know, the setbacks, maybe the total square footage, what's gonna happen on drainage.
That's why I'm wondering if it's like
Too early.
premature for us to get in there. Like, I'd rather you guys work out all those types of details
We've got a whole lot
beforehand.
more conversation to have with these people, so.
Then I
you know,
think, I
you're-
mean, I think maybe a little premature.
You are welcome to be there, I think.
Yeah.
maybe we'll just sit in and listen if we're available to kind of just get a feel.
I mean, I feel like you guys have a lot more
There-
nitty
there's a
gritty to
whole-
work out before you need like our,
You know, unless there's a whole lot that we're made aware of before, you know, between now and then, maybe at the public involvement meeting or something. You know, there's a whole lot more questions to be answered and conversation and discussion
okay.
Yeah.
on this side.
All
Okay.
right, well then I think, I mean, for me personally, it sounds like it may be a little early for us to
Yeah.
come in and,
And personally, I like the planning board to have time to
me
discuss
too, yeah, me,
Right.
me- yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying.
what you-
yeah.
Without us putting in our 2
influencing or
cents, I
really
agree.
getting-
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
I said, you know, we're not in, you know, I don't think anyone on the board is in a rubber stamp mood.
Okay,
You know,
All right.
it's, you know, I think all of us have, you know, concerns about rezoning, period,
Right.
just in general, even though it's an allowed use per the land use plan. But, you know, we want it done correctly. and
okay.
so-
Well then, let's hold off on us coming in,
I'm
unless you're available and you wanna go sit and
You're welcome
listen.
to come,
Yeah.
but you're saying you don't want to have a
Yeah.
joint council meeting, it's fine.
I think we should wait.
Several of us tried to go to the first planning, or the first public involvement meeting. I wasn't here very long because you couldn't hardly get in the door. And I understand that 2 other members did come after that, but it was,
Yeah, okay. All right, let's just wait then,
Sure.
if that's okay.
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 Thanks. All right, and next up, just a reminder, we have, still have a closed session meeting to take care of, so,
Okay.
which, maybe now lunch is something better. I see. All right, so the last thing was the roundabout lighting?
Yeah, just.
Roundabout update.
Yeah, briefly mentioned the Marvin Road and Newtown Road update, which is that the CRTPO did fund an increase of budget for that project so that we could get the sewer line down to Mr. Philbrick's house. And so since the funding gap is closed, that project can now commence, basically.
Okay.
But it looks like it may be a little later.
Yeah, it's a little later than expected. They were trying to do it in summer of next year because of school being out of session, but they might not be able to get that benchmark, so they might be having to,
Push it to the fall.
yeah.
They
2020
won't,
of the fall?
they won't push it to the summer of 21, will they?
No.
Okay. So can you just keep us updated as you hear?
Sure,
Because people
sure.
are starting to ask when that one's gonna go in. I'm getting questions about it.
All right,
Okay.
anything else?
Yeah, since the roundabout lighting is on the agenda, I might as well discuss it. We just got approval from NCDOT for the roundabout lighting plan on the other 2 roundabouts, and so that's.
The one that we like approved like a while ago?
Yeah.
With the
that-
extra
that- yeah,
thingy?
that
Okay,
approval
good.
just came through from NCDOT
Okay.
like maybe last week or so.
Great.
So,
Okay.
So we hope to get it done before the fall.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, when it starts getting dark early. Okay, good. And then one thing, I guess for you, Rohit, you're gonna check on this sidewalk stuff and put that on the next
Right.
agenda? Okay, I just made a note to make sure that that was on there. Okay. Thank you.
So just a curiosity, if we go back to the update, 2020 fall, or spring or summer 2020. That's right when we're doing our budget, and that, what's the effect now with the officers that we're spending now?
30-ish,
30,000?
20 to 30, but I think it's more like 30.
Okay.
But that'll be, we will,
Keep that in mind. and
we'll
see how
budget
things are
probably half of it
progressing.
in next year's
Right.
budget.
Yeah, just to get us through the construction.
Okay. Good. All right, anything else?
Thanks for that.
Can I mention something, Mayor, regarding minutes?
Mhm.
33.
Over the course of the week, I have been archiving our minutes that need to go to the state archival system. And I've came over 3 sets of, three sets of minutes for council that you all never saw or approved from the December 2017 meeting. And these are minutes for December the 5th, December the 12th, and December the 13th.
That we never approved?
You've never seen them. You've never reviewed them. You've never adopted them. To my knowledge, I've looked through all the minutes for 2018 and they never came before you. So before I can send them to archive, you need to approve them.
So we put them on the
So you just
agenda,
let me know when
next work session
you want
agenda?
to do the next work session?
Yes,
Okay.
that'd be great. Thank you. All right, done with, thank you.
Is there any information that you need for those, Barbie?
No, these are just minutes that I wasn't here, or
So
these
they've
are
been, so
minutes
they've
that
been
I never
done.
transcribed.
So they've been done.
They have been done, they are transcribed, but
Okay.
I
But you
wasn't
didn't
the
do
clerk
that.
that attended those meetings, so
Okay.
I just need to know how y'all want to handle those.
Okay.
So get your thinking caps on, memory.
I wasn't here for
2017.
December 5th, so you guys are gonna have to remember that one.
I
That was
forgot
a
where Nick
special
lived
meeting.
when I went to pick him up.
That was a special meeting, so,
Okay,
but there's nothing else that y'all need for that.
Okay.
all right.
Thanks, Barbie.
So next up, we have planning board chair report. Chairman John Jones.
I had two comments I was going to make. One of which we've already discussed, was the rezoning. The other is that it was a potential revision to the ordinance regarding, give me the proper, stormwater was brought up to us to potentially change the allowance of, right now the ordinance says that basically
Any development should have the 100-year storm runoff be at pre-development levels, which means that they'll have to have a retention pond or something so that the impervious surface doesn't make that runoff go off the site. But Mary Scoop had wanted to change that ordinance so that basically the motivation was that the village hall would not have to have retention ponds, but no matter how less we get that impervious surface, because that ordinance says any development means that our village hall would have to have the retention pond. So we discussed it and came up with an idea to present to the planning board for review that any development that disturbs greater than 1 acre will need to have retention so that runoff is at pre-development levels. The planning board discussed it. We discussed it in depth at that last meeting. Decided that's not it's not a good route to go, and I kind of hope that Mary would have been here so we can discuss the result of that discussion.
Our feeling was, using village hall, potential, future village hall site as an example, not necessarily, fingering it, but, the total acreage is something over 3 acres, right?
Right.
3.5 acres.
Something like that.
And, the theory on the revision was, well, if we only disturb less than an acre today, we don't have to do it. But that doesn't preclude disturbing another acre next year and another acre, which we felt, as I referred to, did not pass the smell test. If it was strictly a 1 acre lot, or slightly below 1 acre lot, we would have had a better acceptance of it. But like I said, it's the way it was presented, we were not comfortable with.
There's probably some ways we could work on it, and I think Councilmember Scoot's idea was that the ordinance says all developments, which basically means a house too.
Yeah.
So like a house would have to have those same requirements as well, which we do not do in practice. So I think,
Well, in practice, probably, if you're talking about that, once again, we didn't do the math or anything else, but you got a 1 acre lot, say, and you can build a house and a driveway, say like this current structure. You're not gonna run any water off more than running it off now because you've got lots of green space. That's different. Once again, that's in our feeling, talking about a large site, that you're only going to grade 1 acre today, you can do it in stages, year after year after year after year, which didn't.
well, Rohit, why don't we talk with Tristan, because Tristan was one of the ones that brought this up
Right.
to change based on trying to get Village Hall done. And I think at some point the ordinance does need to be cleaned up because it does say all developments, and we need to figure out what that
We're not
means.
necessarily disagreeing with that, but the way it was presented at that
Right,
moment,
right.
we just did not.
So why don't you guys work
We'll work
on
with
it,
Tristan.
and then you guys can re-present it to planning board.
If we can come up with something that, that we're comfortable with, we're okay,
Okay.
but that, like the broad term, the way it was right at that moment, we just, like, goes back 100 acre site, well, I'm gonna build one house today, and next year I'll build
Yeah,
another
well,
house,
it
and
makes
then
sense.
another house, and another house. That's,
Yeah,
if we had just adopted it as it was presented, there was nothing to preclude that.
right, okay. So you guys work on that, and then take it back to planning board? Okay,
All right, anything else?
That's the high points, I think.
thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, and finally, last thing we had on the reports and updates, our PRD chair report. Mary Site's not here, but do you have anything?
I don't know.
So we'll just table that to the next meeting that she's available. So next up, F, agenda item, review action items. Barbie?
I have add the sidewalk change for Gerald Farms for discussion and consideration at the regular meeting on September 10th. Add Village Hall discussion to 9/26 work session. Staff will research drainage for the roundabouts and gather more information and contact DOT. Get in writing from, is it Pulte that does the Amber Meadows
Yes.
Trail? Okay, from Pulte on the Amber Meadows Trail. And then add the website approval on the 9/10 agenda. Ask Publix to let council know about the tenants in Marvin Gardens. And then put the 12/5/17, 12/12 through 12/13/17 minutes on the consent agenda for 9/10.
Not consent. I wanna go over those.
Okay, so you want to.
I want those on the, I want those on the
I
work
heard
session.
consent, but you want
Sorry.
to do discussion.
I want
For which
those-
ones?
The ones that we were missing.
The
I want,
November.
I want those
Oh, I
done
heard
like,
consent, so you want discussion?
I wanna do
Okay.
those. I
On
wanna-
discussion
Yeah, on the 26th, like we do normal draft
Okay.
minutes.
for 9/26.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Barbie.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's all right. And then staff will work with Tristan on stormwater ordinance revisions and take back to planning board.
Good.
Is that good?
Yeah, that sounds
All
good.
right.
All right,
Comments?
council comments.
I'm good.
Dick?
I just want to thank staff for all the work they've been doing and getting us ready for this meeting. There's a lot of stuff. We caught up on a bunch of stuff. And we should never get this far behind, but that's about it.
All right, Kim?
I'm good.
All right, I think we had a great meeting, very productive in the amount of time that we were able to get this done. Just like to welcome back students to school. New school year started, so suggesting that all people be a lot more careful as we're driving, especially with kids running around. Reminder, September 10th is special voting for special election. So encourage all to get out and vote and know your candidates that are on the ballot. Yesterday we had an opportunity to go out to the county commissioners who had prepared a 2-day retreat. Today is the second day of the retreat, which obviously we couldn't make. But the first day, I just want to commend Rohit for putting together a presentation in front of looked like about 100 people were there from all different municipalities. It's a great job on kind of explaining to where we were at as far as a community village and what our needs were. My comments were, as far as an ask was concerned, more of, I think we work well. Communication can always be better with those members, but if there was an ask from our end, and I think I shared this with council members individually, both Kim and Nick, that if there was, it's now, since we're almost built out, it's really about a quality of life for the village of Marvin, and what is really missing and would help with the limit of how many people are coming into the schools and stuff is really focusing on athletic fields and green space, and how the commissioners could kind of help get together. And I suggested potentially like a bond where communities get together, 3 or 4 communities, Wesley, Chapel, Weddington, Waxhaw, and find a centralized location and compete with the developers through a bond to purchase land to set aside for athletic fields. That's one thing I don't think we have in this area. So that was my comments for that. We drove past it on the way out to Marvin. I've seen Marvin Gardens. It's good to see that's finally under thing. So thanks for that. And lastly, I guess, Christina, for you, thank you for taking on that, the new responsibility with Chris being gone and stuff. I know that's put a lot more workload on you, and we appreciate all of your efforts on that. And if there's anything we know, just keep us posted on how that's going and taking up your work time if you would and stuff. So with that, I have nothing more. Thanks all the members of different boards and stuff for their participation as well, and look forward to that the survey coming out and stuff. Encourage people to reply to that. With that, I will ask to go first to end this, but go into a quick, before we go into closed session, take a 5-minute break before we go into closed session. Do I need a motion for that?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The motion
You had no
passes.
comments?
Huh?
You had no comments?
She had.
I said none. He skipped me.
Oh, no, I did say, you said you didn't have any.
I didn't have any.
Yeah, so, all right, thank you all.